going on, guys? Today's podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. And if you go to manscaped.com/RBP, you can get 20% off and free shipping on their new beard kit that I'm going to show you. Check this out. So you get all this cool stuff in the beard kit. I'm going to show you each piece one by one. First of all, the most important part is you get the beard trimmer itself. Now, the cool thing is you don't get a ton of these attachments like with every other beard trimmer. You lose half of them. This one, you can set the beard trimmer length with this dial. So you just have the one guard to worry about, which is beautiful because I always lose these. So that's the first thing. Second thing is you get the beard conditioner, you get beard balm, you get a beard brush. Wonderful. And you get, let's see, beard oil. And the last thing is the beard shampoo. So you get all this. I'm going to show you on the website. If you go to the website, manscaped.com/RBP, you can go to new beard kit, click on that. It'll show you exactly what you get. You get the scissors, you get the brush, you get all this stuff in the beard kit for $139, but you save 20% plus you get free shipping. So make sure you go to manscaped.com/RBP or use code RBP at checkout to get the discount plus the free shipping. Guys, you won't regret it. This beard trimmer with the dial on here, so you don't have all the attachments, is absolutely wonderful. So Ben, we are doing some housekeeping for HOSSTILE before we start. Unfortunately, HOSSTILE will not be at the Arnold Classic this year. I will be there commentating. Ben will be there. Samson will be there, obviously competing. Paul will be there judging the Arnold Amateur. But we will probably not, well, not probably, we will not have a booth this year. There's just too many things going on for fans that want to know. There's too many things going on. We have a lot of our time is allocated for launching new products, new flavors, and all that other shit. So we're going to pass on the Arnold booth this year. But I believe me and the big guy, potentially Ben and Paul as well, will have an area.
Am I the big guy or is
not anymore?
The big guy?
Not anymore. Me and the big guy that just joined, Samson.
Yo.
Good, man. Good. I was just telling everybody watching that we're not going to have an Arnold booth this year. But, but I think I talked to the Arnold people. They may have an area for me and you to take photos with people on Sunday.
Oh, cool.
And I told them I could bring any HOSSTILE athletes that do show up, because I know some guys are showing up on their own.
Yeah.
So like anybody else who's there, we'll take photos. Like we'll all get there. Like, you know, if Ben's there or Justin shows up or whatever, we'll all take pictures together.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. That sounds good.
Yeah. That after you win will be like a victory.
Oh, of course. I have the Arnold trophy right there on my side. Like,
yeah. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'll be like, tell the fans, you want to touch it? The only chance you get, touch it.
They can touch the trophy as well, right?
Well, yeah, no, that would, you know what, that would be fucking incredible. I mean, you got a tough road ahead, but if you can fucking manage that shit,
man, I have every determination to do it.
I know honestly. You do. I know you do.
This time, I think, most times, you got to play it down, but like, okay, I just want to do my best. But this one, I'm like, nah.
You're going in.
I'm going for broke this time.
I'm going in. How is the pressure compared to the Olympia? Because I know the Olympia was a big deal.
Yeah, no, this one's been quite relaxing actually.
Why? What, is it because you're already like pretty much in shape, or is it because people believe in you already, or what is it?
I think what it is like going to Olympia. It was more the unknown, wasn't it? It was like, okay, we've got this. We haven't really proven ourselves in that caliber yet.
Yeah.
So even going in there and going with it, and so having that hype, no matter how you look at it, it just created pressure. You weren't unsure. You were just trying to bring your best, but at the same time, you didn't know if it would be good enough.
Yeah.
But there was all questions to that. Now, then when you kind of got through all that, and obviously the level of competitors that was at that lineup and everything else, and all the hype that was in that show, yeah, it was like right up there.
Yeah.
Now, I think after you kind of stood on Olympia stage, you got to feel for it. You got to just you sort of have more assurance on where you stand and what you're capable of. It not only just fills you with confidence, but it kind of gives you that sort of a lot more almost like level head of it now. You kind of think, okay, I'm used to this. I know how it goes. All right. So you kind of relax a bit more and go, okay, I know from where I was then what I have to do to get better.
So
And
it's
if I
almost
do
sorry. So yeah, so it's almost like you feel like as long as you show up as good or better,
Yeah.
then you're still going to have a good result.
and there you go. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly that. So with that, it sort of drops that pressure just kind of drops a bit, and you just kind of like you just end up being the thing where you just focus on what you have to do, and that's it. I think maybe this is what happens when guys have a lot of experience doing this. It just gets better. The more you do it, the more that pressure just doesn't really hit you as hard.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, if we're talking about people like a Dexter Jackson or a Phil Heath or like anybody who's competed at the highest level for years and years and years and years, I wonder if they still have the same, like I wonder Dexter after his 10th fucking Olympia, maybe it's just another show to him at that point.
I mean,
I wouldn't mind
surely-
betting Phil's pressure was different though.
Well, I think if you're Mr. Olympia, yeah, it's probably different. But I mean, but let's take somebody who's like, I mean, look, everybody has pressure because they want to do better. But there's obviously varying degrees of pressure. And I think that's what Samson's talking about. So Ben, would you think that somebody who is like a perennial top 6, all right, take somebody who's always in the top 6. I think what Samson's alluding to is once you've proven to yourself that you're good enough to be there, that pressure may come down a bit.
Yeah.
Well, my perception, and Samson can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but whilst he placed 6th, and that was his best look so far, there's a lot more to come from him. I think it'd be different if you nailed it and you're like, that was, I don't know if I can do any better than that right now. I don't know if I've got more than that to give, or I need to put on 30 pounds to progress from there. I don't think that's up for discussion. I think it's just fine tuning, and he's going to get better and better and better. So there's probably less pressure from that perspective as well, right?
Yeah, exactly that. Where before coming to Olympia, where you were kind of coming from a full off season, you put on new muscle, you didn't know if you were going to keep it, you didn't know whether it was going to be enough, you didn't know if you come up enough. You had a lot of if. Before that stage, but now you sort of done that, and now it's like, okay, we're there. You just need to fine tune what you already have, and it feels like there's a lot less like work to do that than it was when you kind of coming in just completely unknown.
That's true. I never thought of that. When you were getting ready, I remember talking to the guys, like everybody at different podcasts. So I remember talking. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Good, Fouad. How are you?
Good.
Listen, Ben.
How you doing?
I remember having the discussion that you'd put on all this mass in the off season. We didn't know if you're going to be able to hold it through your diet.
Yeah,
but you held like every fucking pound.
Now, which was just absolutely crazy to me. It's like, when you saw that, because we knew we were sort of keeping it, but at the same time, it was always that question, okay, would it be enough? Could you refine it enough?
Yeah.
And everything else. And there's always, just subconsciously, you always feel that, okay, is it really, my back going to go down the more I lean out? Is this going to change? Is that going to change? And we know that we're kind of like, okay, we brought in good shape and everything else, but it still feels like, okay, now looking at it, you're like, okay, there's a lot more refining we can now do, and a lot more sucking down we can now do, and still have more than enough size and more than enough muscle to sort of be a threat in the show. So when you sort of know that, you kind of feel like, okay, you know what you can do from that point. You're not starting all over again, especially because it's not new prep.
Yeah,
it just feels like you're just continuing.
Oh, Samson froze. That's never happened before.
No,
he's got nice teeth though. Look at
Ben. You look young.
Sorry, Samson, you froze there for a
second.
Sorry, Samson, you froze there for a second. You were just saying it's a continuation of your prep.
Yeah, I just say like basically the prep just continues. Not like you're not starting a new one, more or less.
Yeah. Ben, sorry, Samson. I just want to ask Ben something because it's caught my eye. That fucking hair is growing in thick.
You look good.
No, it's all an act. It is just positioned correctly.
Are we allowed to tell everybody?
I thought it was public. I had a hair transplant it was nearly a year ago, right?
Yeah, I think everybody knows, but I wasn't sure if we talked about it. Yeah. So
Ben, that looks good.
I'm still pushing it. Like I'm putting it in the right place to cover it the fuck up. Like,
okay, wait. I'm sure Paul's curious. I'm sure there's a lot of
very curious right now.
They can't help you, mate. That's too far gone.
I'm too far gone.
Yeah.
No. Seriously, let me ask you a question. So, I remember you said it was because the front was going back a bit. Did you get just the front done, or did you get anything done in the back?
No, there's thickness for days here. This shit is like fucking. I need a weed whacker back. This is crazy back here.
So you just had the front
Like
done.
all this, yeah, all this. They took it off of here,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
and then they just put like the widow's peak, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just a little bit at the front here, but it was mostly like up in here. It was like way up. I
Can
was
they fill in like right there? Like if you
I
got bald spot
yeah,
right
I
there, can
think-
they fill that in?
I assume so. I didn't.
But you
inquire
have
about
to
that
have-
'cause
but-
this is.
But you have to have enough hair like back here for them to be
You
able
have to have
do it.
enough. Yeah, you have to have enough donor hair, which
Otherwise-
they could probably have to take it off of your chin, mate. If I'm
Yeah.
honest.
Yep.
Was that Paul?
I'm
Was
thick
that
right here.
Paul? Was that me and you talking about that?
What's that?
Using beard hair for your head?
Oh, yeah.
You could do that.
If you could do that, I'll be all set.
Or
But,
they probably take some out your ears and they could put it up there for you.
Well,
My back. Take it off my back.
Yeah.
I said to Paul they could use my ass hair, not like
No, because then you'd have like curly whirlies everywhere.
Yeah.
not. You know, Paul goes that it would stink. I'm like ass hair just automatically stinks. Like it doesn't. No, but I'm not talking about in the crack. Like, you know, you're like my ass has fine hair on it. They could use like my cheek hair.
No,
My
no,
ass-
you'll get in.
Ass cheek.
You'll get in there and they'll be like, "You didn't shower after you took a shit."
I don't know, man. What would
Can we tell them that, by the way? So that, like last week, I'm sitting there and I'm in. Actually, I was doing some pretty intensive work, and I get a phone call from Fouad. I'm like, "Oh, this must be pretty important." He's like, "Hey, I got to ask you something real quick." And he's like, "Go on, you carry it on," because Paul was there too.
me and Paul were having a debate about. Okay, let's ask Samson before we go on. Samson, if you go to the washroom, take a dump,
Yeah.
do you wipe first and then go in the shower, or do you just
Wait. If you're gonna go and take a shower and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I can curl one out real quick now,"
Yeah. Which is every
You
single
white-
time.
do you wipe and then get in the shower anyway, or
Yeah.
do you just go, "Well, I'm about to go in the shower. Let me just expedite this
You wipe
process."
and then go in the shower. I don't know.
Exactly.
It's like default, isn't it? You just wipe before you go in the shower.
I don't know.
See, Fouad?
Well, you just get
I
up
mean,
and
Fouad
just
just goes in.
I'm going to shower
If it's
and
a-
I'm-
if it's
Oh,
a-
dude, no.
If it's a clean one,
No,
He
thinks
what's
he
a
can
clean
tell.
one? What part is a clean one?
See, I'm with. I have
His
to.
turd
I have
hanging
to
out, and
say,
you'd be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna jump in the shower anyway." So
no,
Yeah.
no.
no, if
He
it
thinks he
pinch-
can tell by.
No,
Okay, wait. We have
if
to.
it pinches off clean, you can just.
Okay,
I
have
don't
to-
think
we
you
have
can
to
go
have-
by that.
wait. We have to have this discussion real quick because it's very confusing to me that Paul can't tell if he's had a clean break or not.
I mean, I can tell an obvious one if it's been bad, but I
can
can't
tell-
always tell.
I can tell every time. Like I can tell what kind of what kind it is.
Well, how many wipes approximately you're going to need?
No. Yeah, like before. Like okay, I don't want to talk about shit this whole
Well-
podcast. I really don't. But I'm just saying, like, if you get a clean no wiper, you can tell it's a no wiper. I mean, you still wipe, but like you could tell it's like a clean break.
Yeah, but
For
when you
sure.
jump
Yeah, I
in-
could
when you
definitely,
jump
if
in
it
the
feels
shower,
like,
it's
yeah.
Okay, can we move on? I don't want to talk about. I really don't want to talk about shit this whole podcast. I don't know how we even got to that. How did we get to shit? We were talking about your hair. Oh, we're talking about ass hair.
Yeah, let's go back to the real serious conversation instead.
Well, no. Well, that was a serious conversation because I was curious.
Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, why couldn't they use beard hair? You just have like a thicker head of hair. Like Ben's hair is pretty thick anyway. Look at it.
It's not the same
Yeah,
hair. I
but
don't
your
think.
beard hair is like coarse. It'd be like
Yeah.
stiff.
Yeah, but is it better to have? Is it better to have coarse hair? Like Samson's hair is coarse. Is it better to have coarse hair or no hair?
Of course.
Yeah, I'd rather have
I would
coarse.
just,
hair.
I would just keep it tight.
Yeah, tape it tight.
But then your head would literally be like you could just go whichever way around with it.
Yeah, you could just.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know. I'm
Um,
thinking about it.
you're thinking about what? Getting the transplant?
Well, yeah, I don't know if I have enough anymore to do it, but I want to cover that spot right there. I hate that spot.
You
What
don't
do
think
you mean? You have a shaved head, like
Yeah,
it's
and
like
it's-
someone-
no.
What?
I know, but I don't like I like keeping it short, like stubbly kind of. But right here, I got nothing anymore. And I hate
Why
that.
don't you get it tattooed on where it's like so it's just?
I
Yeah, like
thought
the-
about that. I thought about that. Me and Fouad talked about that.
So
He doesn't
here's the
think
thing: when I had mine done, because you have to shave it, I was like this all over, right?
Yeah.
To get it done.
Mhm.
And then when I came out, it was like it had been tattooed on. It was like I'll send through the picture of it. It's like, and I said to Donnie, I was like, if this doesn't work, I'm just gonna buzz it and I'll get it tattooed on, because actually the hairline looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And we have some friends that have had it done, and it doesn't. It looks
Yeah.
okay.
Tell. Do you have any scars, Ben?
Not that I can, no more than I already have. Because the thing is, I've got that the motorbike accident. I've got that big scar here, so I actually have no hair like that will grow in like that line there. If you see it, something
Like,
there,
this
it'll go
is
up and down.
This is what I'm curious. Like, Paul, your head would look exactly the same as it looks right now if you just buzzed it all off.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Yeah, you don't realize
Yes.
that.
I don't know. When I look, I see some stuff. I don't know.
No one else
Just me?
does.
No one sees
No.
it here. No. You might as well have a shaved head. Okay. All right, I got an experiment for you. Paul, look at Samson's head.
Yep.
Do you see a lot of hair?
I see similar to mine.
No, because his is still like thick. It's covered, right? Yours, I can see your scalp.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as thick as Samson's.
So what I'm
for
trying
sure.
to say is, like,
I hate my hair though. You know what? It's like, do you ever get that thing where you go to stage, you go on stage, right? Because this is one thing I always go to the US. Like when you get a show, I like to just shave it completely off.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I always do it a few days. Like, you know, when you travel in a week before and stuff like that, and it starts to grow stubbly a little bit back. And I have this messed up hairline that I freaking can't stand. And I looked at the Olympia, and every time I looked at some of the video, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I really hated that. I always wanted to be clean shaven bald, but I think like you get so close to the show, you're like, man, I can't bother to go find someone to cut my hair again. So I'll just take it to the stage.
wait, why do you
Can't
need
you wait? Do it at
why do you
home.
need somebody to cut your hair? Just do it yourself.
Yeah, but honestly, I try that because this is the thing. This is what they don't tell. Because I'm from the UK, my clippers are UK clippers. When I go to the US, I get yeah.
If you use go to
Wait, though.
Manscaped,
Wait.
go to Manscaped, use code RBP, and you get the
I'm not gonna-
entire
Wait.
beard kit, and you just
Hey,
do it yourself.
They should send it to Samson for free. You
Look,
shouldn't have to
Samson, they
use
send you
all
like
the
a
codes.
brush after you shave it. You brush
Oh,
your
I
hair.
like that bunch. I like
Yeah,
that
and
bunch.
they send you like this whole trimmer. It's amazing. This is just use
Well, is
code
that like-
use code RBP, and you get this.
Is that like
awesome-
who's that electric one as well? Is that electric one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah.
Got
Yeah,
a light
man.
on it too.
Manscaped.
Actually,
No,
I
this
actually want one now.
no, this is different than yours, Paul. Manscaped just started doing beard care stuff, so this is a completely
Oh.
different. Yeah, it's a completely different. I don't want to do a whole ad. This is gay.
Yeah.
I was actually just
This is
joking.
gay. You can't say this is gay.
Yeah.
I meant it like James. I didn't mean it like I meant it like James says it. It's not the same.
Like happy.
Yeah, I meant it like yeah.
Gay happy.
Okay, so gays don't get a bigger discount. It's just a standard discount. Okay, seems mean, but okay.
We have. I realized after reading some comments last week, we have gay fans that actually really enjoy our podcast.
Really?
Yes,
That's nice to know.
that made me really happy.
Me too.
Yeah, we're
We haven't offended. They've got thick skin, so
listen,
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Wait a second. We offend everybody equally.
that's what I mean. Everyone that's watching still has
Yeah.
thick skin.
We've made
Yeah.
fun of every race, every gender, every sexual orientation. We don't hold back.
We don't discriminate.
So,
You're all treated equally.
Paul
Yeah.
had a post-workout nutrition. Do you want to tell him what that was, Paul? You want to tell him what your post-workout nutrition was?
Well, Fouad took me to Starbucks after our workout, and he bought
He
me
says
a
it. He says it like
Americano.
it's a date. It took me to Starbucks.
And so I got sugar in it this time because it's post-workout.
That's right. I noticed. I noticed when I ordered. I'm like, "Hey, man, what do you want?" He's like, "Because I never know what he's gonna get because it's different every fucking time." So we get there. He's like, "I have a Americano with oat milk," which drives me insane because it's oat water. It's not oat milk. There's no such thing as there's no fucking such thing as oat milk. And then he's like, "I'll have 2 sugars." I'm like, "Oh, I recognize the sugar." I'm like, "He's trying to carb load. He's trying to look."
I'm trying to spike. I'm trying to elicit an insulin response to
He's
it.
trying to spike his insulin after
Yeah.
the work. After the work.
Nutrient timing.
Have you got Ben? You do the oat milk thing, don't you?
No, I've like just drinking regular whole milk now.
I thought
Yeah,
you
but-
were on oat milk too.
Didn't we when we were together in Texas? Didn't you have oat milk in your drink?
I think it was almond milk.
Almond
one, I
milk.
think.
That's
yeah.
almond milk. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Which
talked
is the
about
same
it
argument, right? It's still not
Yeah.
milk.
Yeah.
because of the acid reflux, right, Ben? You were getting the same thing.
Well, that was from the creamer.
From
So
dairy.
now I just use, because Phoenix just uses like the regular whole milk. So I just started using that and I'm fine. I'm like, fuck it. And I
Oh.
love milk. I love milk. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going back to milk.
Oh,
okay.
so Paul, your problem was from the creamer. It wasn't from the milk.
I thought it was just from dairy in general. Sometimes I had milk,
Oh,
sometimes I'd have
But
cream.
I had the conversation with Guy because when we went up to Jersey for the live, I was doing it then. I'm like, I cannot drink creamer. Every time I have creamer, it was like,
Really?
kill me. Yeah, I still get it.
Like
But if I drink
flavored
regular
creamer?
milk, yeah, like the French vanillas and all
Yeah,
of
yeah.
those.
Summer, dude. Summer's like that too. Because Summer was drinking what's it called? A
French
venti,
vanilla?
a venti vanilla, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Skinny vanilla latte. And
Yeah.
once she switched to just a non-fat latte without the vanilla, it didn't bother her acid reflux anymore.
Really?
Mm.
So what
I
if
think
it's
it's
like
the sugar
Vanilla?
alcohol or whatever they're using to flavor the vanilla, like whatever they're
Yeah.
doing. Maybe that's what it
Yeah.
is. So
Oh,
now you
maybe I
can stop drinking fucking wet
Oat
paper
water.
water.
can-
Wet
right, I
paper
can go back to
Yeah,
cow's milk.
Dude, oat milk. Samson, have you ever had oat milk?
No.
No,
As a
Samson's
man.
We don't
Samson's
get,
a
we don't get a
fucking
lot of that stuff in the UK though. I mean, we probably do, but real men don't really use that.
I took a sip of his fucking coffee by accident the other day. We were on a road trip together. And I grabbed his coffee by accident, took a sip. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm
like-
it's an
I'm like
acquired taste.
I'm like, they fucked up my drink. He's like, no, that's mine. I'm like, how the fuck?
Oh,
Oat milk tastes just like wet paper. Like it's fucking gross.
oh.
Yeah, I've never tried it just on its own without like in coffee or something. But yeah. Well, I put enough sweetener in it usually. That's all I taste.
I asked him one time at the counter. I was like, how do you guys make your oat milk? He's like, well, we soak the oats in water and then we strain the oats. I'm like, so it's just water.
No.
It's just the residue from the oatmeal. It's left in
Oh,
the water.
is that really what it is?
Yes.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
See,
It's like
Oh, that
I'd
is
be
like-
totally okay. I'd be totally okay if they did that with like the Nesquik cereal or
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, give me that.
Oh, oh.
All right, Paul. Who don't I have here? We got to get some Arnold predictions from Ben, I think.
hey, food, I gotta use the bathroom. Right back.
All right. Thanks for telling me. Okay. Ben,
Yeah.
you have not given your predictions yet.
I always get put on here like this when
What?
one of the actual competitors is on.
So what?
I don't know.
He's not going to get offended. He's a big boy. Oh, somebody said to me that because I think Samson can win, it's putting undue stress on Samson. Am I putting undue stress on you, Samson?
Not really, because I'm putting stress on myself.
I know. Like,
That's the
This
difference.
is, but you know what? That's the thing, right? No one can put more stress on you than this little voice in here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So give a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, Ben. What do you think?
Uh,
And be
Paul,
honest. Don't
I'm
worry.
gonna be honest. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I think
So we have
so on the left is the whole list, right?
yes.
Yeah,
So we have
okay.
Jose picked Clarita to win. Everybody else has picked Samson or Nick.
Well, Jose is a 212 guy, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, Clarita could win. He is. Listen,
I
I'm
look,
not-
Clarita's ridiculous.
I said
but
could-
at
I
some
said-
point,
I said could win. I didn't say he's like the favorite or anything.
sure.
I mean, you have to admit, if we broke down Sean's physique, the only area in his physique where he's missing anything, in my opinion, his chest is a little narrow.
And it's because his shoulders are so dominant as well. Like it's almost, yeah, I agree. That,
No, listen.
let me do my predictions. Let me do it.
Okay. You do your thing. Do your
'Cause I'm
thing.
on- and just real quick on Clarita, I think he could win, or he could be. He's not going to be. I don't think he's going to be like second or third. I think he's either going to be fifth or first. Right?
I see what you're
He's gonna
saying.
be-
Yeah. I can see that.
Right.
I can see that.
Okay, give me the list, and
Okay, here's a list.
I'll give me the list, and I'll butcher this. Okay, I think Nick Samson. Oh, I tell you what, that list on the left isn't far off of where I would go. Nick Samson, Andrew or Sean. Hang on.
Don't forget Rami.
No, I'm not forgetting Rami, but I think Andrew's going to come in better, and I think.
All right.
Okay, hang on.
You said Andrew or who?
No, I didn't see you. I'm tossing up on this one. Hang on. Go. So Nick Samson. Rami, Andrew, Sean.
Nick, Samson, Rami, Andrew,
Sean.
Sean. Okay. Bonac, Kamal, Patrick, Justin Rodriguez. I don't think Bonac's on this list over here. Oh, yeah, he is. William Bonac.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Yeah. Akeem, Akeem posted some photos today. He looked pretty good.
The side, yeah, but he's just side leg. It doesn't count. He's side leg.
No. I saw a back shot. 1 second. I'm going to bring it up.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. If his back shot looks good, then we're talking. Sorry, it's different.
Well, I mean, look, his back is always going to be missing a little bit, but it looked very good for Akeem.
But that's what I mean. If he brings it in,
like this is already coming. Like this wasn't here in Tampa.
No.
So, I mean, it looks pretty. It looks pretty good. I still think it's a little behind, but if he can look, I mean, for people watching, obviously everybody has a weakness, and the only weakness Akeem has is his lats are obviously very high, and they need to be much thicker. So that's his weak point. But he's got such crazy shape that even if he could get this conditioned, he could be a lot higher than people are saying he is.
Okay.
Because he's got everything else. Like, look at the fucking leg, the arm, the fucking chest. It's like
wasn't he just like seventh at like Olympia 2 or 3 years ago?
He was sixth, I think. Yeah,
sixth.
Yeah.
It's 2020. He was sixth.
All right, let's go back to the list.
Okay. Amal, Bonac, Akeem. Justin, Patrick.
Man, I think that's. I think this is going to be a lot closer than people think. I want to show this too, just to give him some respect because I thought it looked amazing. Justin Rodriguez posted these back shots that looked really, really impressive. His back shots are his best body parts, but like this is fucking nasty. This shit. Like that's a really, really good lat spread.
I've always so wide across shoulders.
You know, he's wide across, but he's really done well with his legs. Like the quad coming off here really creates a better version of the X frame than it did a couple of years ago. And then even in the back double, like even with his arms up, you still see some thickness down here in the lower lat. It looks like, I don't know when this was 5 weeks out. It looks like he needs to speed up a bit, but Justin's also notorious for like coming in at the end very quickly.
Yeah.
So
he's gotten really thick. The last couple of years, he's gotten really thick.
I think people are not looking at Justin enough because remember Samson, you competed against him last year.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Remember on the Friday night, he was very good.
Friday was his best look I've seen of him, period.
Ever.
He was insane because I remember I went on right after him. Yeah. And I remember he went and did his walkout and I looked and I go, oh my days. Okay. He's on. Yeah. And he came out like, wow. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay. That's a really, really good Justin.
I have a tiny little caveat on Clarida. To my knowledge, he's never done a 2-day show.
Oh, so but he's with Matt. Matt does a good job peaking his guys.
I know, but that's new territory, right? That's new. It's a different experience.
Yeah,
now,
because the 212
that experience starts throwing off the mentality. Like it's
the
a different thing.
212 Olympia is all on Friday all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's always done morning and night shows. To my knowledge,
I think. I mean, listen. I understand what you're saying, but I think being with Matt is a pretty safe bet. He really knows their body, like Nick and Sean. Like he really knows their bodies.
Mm-hmm. Matt's consistency is very impressive.
I'm really excited to see Justin, man. I think Justin's like one of these bodybuilders that if he can come in, it's almost like his physique is like this. If he's 5% off, it looks way off.
Yeah.
But when he's fucking dialed in, he looks incredible.
Yeah.
And last Arnold on the Friday, I remember watching going, holy fuck, he looks good.
Yeah.
But then he gave up like Saturday night when he came back, he gave up ground. So I don't know if you remember what the scorecards were, Samson, or if you even looked. I don't know where he was placed on Friday night.
On Friday, he was third on Friday.
I had him third on Friday too. Yeah.
And then it went down to fifth on Saturday night.
Slipped a couple places. Yeah.
Huh.
So Justin's one to watch, and then the other person was who who was I gonna say? Patrick. Patrick posted a nice shot too, and nobody's really given Patrick a look because he's been out for a while. But people do. I mean, they shouldn't forget the Olympia a few years ago when he came in and he kind of shocked everybody. But like, this is a really nice look. His lines look really clean. Like, look at the fucking leg there. There's good detail there. And his condition is like, when you look at his condition in comparison to Akeem and Justin, you see a different crispness to his physique.
Yeah, it's cleaner, like you said.
But he does have to bring that, right? Because he doesn't have the mass.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's not going to be able to stand next to Akeem mass wise or Justin.
Rami or
Yeah. But he's playing his game well, because like, look at this, the slit in that shoulder to tricep, the extra lines in the leg here on the side, like, and this is still 5 weeks out. So who knows what he's going to bring? Do you guys know who he's working with this year?
No idea.
Is he working with Aceto or no?
No, I believe he's working with Brian again. Not again, but Brian.
Brian, who Brian?
Hunter's old coach.
Oh, okay. Man, this is a really, really nice shot for him.
Yeah, he's got huge arms.
I wish he showed a little bit more. He could use a little bit more hamstring here. But fuck, I mean, look at this.
He's always got nice. He's had crazy shape. Shape's always been on his side, right? So, but it's just adding that thickness.
Do you think he'll be too small? Because Patrick's. I think Patrick's faults in the past have been not faults, but one of the reasons he's not winning is he's usually a little on the smaller side.
Yeah.
But he's going to be bigger than Kamal. So,
but like, Kamal is bigger for his frame.
Yeah.
But I noticed, and this is no knock against Kamal. The guy's a fucking legend, especially winning an Olympia at 50 years old, like, or whatever he was when he won 45 or whatever. I don't remember, but he's incredible physique. So
he was 49 or 50.
Yeah. So this is not taking it away from him, but I'm noticing now as Kamal gets a little older, the legs are becoming a little more straight up and down.
Yeah, well, that's always been his thing, is more sweeping his quads, maybe,
But he did say, and I saw him, I think about 5 weeks out from the Olympia in Florida, and he said that he was in shape at like 220.
Yeah.
And he has to come down to make the 212.
This is Kamal.
And I think his leg.
This is the same amount of time for Kamal as Patrick. They're both 5 weeks out. Their conditioning looks pretty close. I mean, I think Patrick's probably a little bit more conditioned, but I don't know. I feel like it could be the angle of the photo, because it looks like it's being taken on a downward angle. But I feel like the legs are starting to fall behind the upper body.
The roundness, you mean, Fouad, to the muscles?
Well, because see the width of his shoulders and the roundness to the upper body. Yeah. And then I feel like the sweep is becoming straighter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, between him and Patrick may be able to pull ahead. I don't know if Patrick will be able to pull ahead of anybody else, though, just because of, unless they're out of shape. But like, if Justin's in shape, if Bonak's in shape, if like Andrew's in shape, I don't think Patrick will have enough size to pull ahead of them.
I see Kamal's physique as a little bit more complete than Patrick's at this point, though. I think Patrick still has like some weak areas in his physique, where I don't see Kamal having weak areas so much. Like, it's just,
the last. Yeah, I would agree with you on the last viewing of Patrick. But it's been a while since we saw Patrick.
He didn't compete at all last year, right?
But he has had injuries. It's not like he took those two. There's a lot of like things at play here.
Let me ask you, like, look at the back is fucking really separated, and it's complete in every area. It's really
thickness, though.
Well, I mean, look, if you look at this back and then you look at Akeem's back, I mean, he's got full development everywhere. Right.
Yeah, I think he was massive everywhere.
This is what I'm saying. But I mean, okay, look, it's tough. It's like, because if you're saying he's massive, we're talking about structurally, or are we talking about bodybuilding?
Well, look,
density.
No. Bodybuilding. You were there in Tampa. Kamal was way more complete.
I thought Kamal won that show.
Right. But size carried Akeem.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I didn't agree with that. I thought Kamal.
No, I think more than half the crowd disagreed, myself included.
Yeah,
because size does matter, especially at the bigger, big ticket.
But then are we saying the same thing for Sean?
Yeah, which is why I don't have him winning. Yeah, because if you talk about hard, crisp, full, like no one peaks like Sean. Like.
Yeah.
Now, for people watching, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting Patrick on the same level as Sean. Sean is a fucking freak. But I'm just saying, if we're talking about mass and size and structural mass, not just muscle mass, then does that mean Sean falls back as well? But Paul, where do you think, if we go back to Patrick, where do you think Patrick is lagging the most? If you
Thickness.
had to, just
Like from
overall
side to
size and
side.
thickness?
Yeah, from the side.
Yeah.
Chest, back density, hamstrings. That's where I think, if he gets thicker, I think he'll be better. And like I said, we haven't seen him in a while, so maybe he did get thicker. We'll see. His legs are pretty thick there.
I think it's overall size, man. I think because his body parts are very proportionate. Like this is even, quad ham, that's pretty even. Glute is good. Arms are crazy. Shoulders nice and separated. Chest is thick. I mean, he's got all the body parts. I feel like he's just not overall big enough.
Yeah, like the density to his muscles yet, eh?
I feel like he's in between, and this is like what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, this is a
It's
while
like
back.
he's like between classic and open.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we talk about, Ben, sometimes we talk about that no man's land, like where some guys are like 225 and they look great, but they're not big enough to stand with the open guys. They're not small enough to stand with the 212 guys. They're kind of like in that area where
In betweener.
Yeah. They just
And that's why I think Sean will do better than Patrick, because for his frame, he's much more packed out.
he's maxed out. Yeah, he's maxed out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder though, if we're taking like, I love this physique. If you took this physique and you made it a lot thicker, would it ruin his lines?
Yeah, that's the key,
Because like,
add the mass,
It's
keep
clean,
in shape.
though.
Go ahead,
guys,
Samson.
there's always this fear of guys like that, so aesthetic and so pretty, and they think, if they put more size on, they'll ruin their lines. I don't think it's that easy.
It is that
They're really deep and they're really clean lines, and I don't think that he's going to put on that much size and he's going to lose that.
I disagree with you, Samson. I think you're a freak and you just don't. You don't know how easy it is. Most guys that put on as much mass as you did in the short amount of time you did, would have probably blown out their guts.
Yeah, and that's the key to it, keeping the waist tight.
Like we've seen so many guys put on mass really quickly.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying this against anybody. I was one of them. We've seen guys put on mass really quickly and either widen their waist or distend their waist. Something has thrown off their lines, right? Because I'm a firm believer that, and I'm not saying I'm right. You could be right, Samson. I mean, but all I'm saying is I'm a firm believer that every physique has a certain tipping point where once you go past that tipping point, it starts to not look good anymore. It's kind of like if you took like Ronnie Coleman, 2001 Arnold. To me, that was his fucking absolute peak.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to 2003, that's when the stomach started to get a little bit wider, and then the casual fans started to not like it anymore.
Yeah, true.
Or if you take Dorian Yates, like early Dorian Yates, 92, 3, 4, 5 versus 96, 97, you see like almost like his physique started to go the other way, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder what it is for Patrick. I wonder if like he has a lot more to put on, or if his physique, I mean, to me, he looks like he still has room to put a lot of thickness on that physique and still stay pretty aesthetic.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Has he, like, we're comparing him or looking at all that's the 2019 Olympia, because the one that Luke did.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that is the 2019 Olympia. So that's a long time ago. It's come up on 3.5 years. So
I feel like when I look at his physique, it's mostly back thickness and traps is what he's lacking. I feel like he needs a little bit. Like
I think he needs more. I think from the front, his legs, they're not that sweepy.
Yeah.
Go on the stage one of him on. That's where, and again, but that's a long time ago. So
yeah, it could be different now.
But then he had the leg injury, right? He had the Achilles injury,
but he gets in great condition. Like, see how thin the skin is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he won was it the Cali Pro? He won.
Yeah, he won the Cali Pro a few years back now. I think this is the Olympia.
Yes.
It's just overall mass. I'm telling you, I think everything is there. He just needs to amplify all of this, and he could be really, really dangerous.
And he's got the frame to support a lot more muscle. I think.
Look at this back. See what I mean about the traps, though? It's like all the mass is here, and I feel like he could use a little bit more on top.
Yeah.
Man.
But look at that, like
That's nice.
Yeah, you could use a little bit more hamstring too to thicken up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Long
he's
time
very,
ago, though.
very good, man. I hope he shows up and like really shows up. So
It's gonna be interesting
I
to see him after.
don't think he's a young man. He's late 30s now.
yeah,
I think he started late in the sport.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but he's one of those.
Denise used to work with him in Houston, but she knows him
really?
pretty well. Yeah, she
But
knew,
I
like,
think- I think
when he was
he's-
an amateur.
I think he's one of those guys who he's got low kilometers on his physique, for a guy who's in his late 30s.
Well, you're talking to somebody. It's like Samson.
Yeah,
Sam-
exactly. Yeah.
Samson's
I
36,
think that's,
but he's just getting
and
started.
I think,
right?
and I think sometimes that's the best because you get that mature muscle with getting better at the same time.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's hard to put like we usually say 40 is the tipping point for people where they start to go over the hill a little bit, but there's
For
guys
white
that
guys.
there's for
Usually.
for white
Yeah.
guys.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not being. It's true, right?
Actually, that's kind of
Yeah.
true because if you look at some of the black guys that have gone further, it's like a lot of them have gone past 40. If you look at Dexter, you look at Ronnie, Sean Roden,
Yeah.
Tony Freeman, like you can start really like going down a list of
Shit,
guys.
how old's Clarita?
I don't know how old Clarita is.
I'm not sure.
Oh, no, I don't know how old he is. He could be 30. He could be low 30s. Or he could be.
But I mean,
early
even
40s, I don't know.
isn't Andrew 37?
Andrew
Jacked?
Jacked?
Yeah,
I think he's late 30s too.
yeah, but he also looks fresh. Like he looks like he
Yeah.
could go. He could go for another fucking 5-10 years.
Yeah. It's like a
So-
lot of guys who are like athletes in other sports getting involved in bodybuilding a little bit later.
But question though, Ben, since you said that, is it because they're black or is it the training style? Because forgive me if this sounds really racist, but
Jesus, Fouad.
I know
For a change.
noticed-
For a change.
I
Carry on.
noticed,
He's like, oh, here we go. And then when it stays food, okay, what's he gonna say?
I noticed the white guys are usually the fucking heavy load, heavy lifting kind of guys.
I agree with that. I
And the
agree with
black guys are usually
Ronnie
that.
Coleman.
Well, but Ronnie was a high
Ronnie's a
volume.
freak.
Ronnie
Ronnie
was
was-
a high volume guy and heavy load. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I'm not saying black guys don't lift heavy. I'm just saying it seems like the black guys are more the high volume lifters. What was the
that. Yeah,
last?
I think you're right.
What was the last high
Oh.
intensity, low volume trainer you could think of that was black?
Hmm.
I can't think of one.
I mean, look, I've seen Kai incline pressing 5 plates. I've
Dude,
seen
Kai used to do a 45-minute mobility work before he even started his workout.
I know, but in his younger days, he was lifting.
No,
shit
Kai.
ton of heavy.
I'm not saying black guys don't lift heavy, but it's
That's their training
it's usually in conjunction with higher volume.
Yeah. How about
And
Akeem? Doesn't Akeem lift extremely heavy?
Oh, he does.
Yeah, fucking
He
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
But again,
And then some.
but again, I'm not saying black guys aren't strong or don't lift heavy.
Yeah.
I'm saying their work.
What are you saying,
they're-
Fouad? Go on, say what you mean.
I'm saying the low volume shit is usually the white guys. That's all I'm saying. And I wonder if there's some correlation there between the distance
Yeah,
that
'cause
the
that-
guys.
But then
Yeah,
I think
genetics.
there is a point, because if you think about terms of like guys that get injured,
Yeah.
and most of them times you always get the high heavyweight guys,
Intensity guys.
Right.
injury and stuff like that.
But
That's
I wonder too if it's less heavyweight also is in conjunction, because if you look at Sean Roden, Dexter Jackson,
Mhm.
these guys they're not like Cedric, they don't focus on like heavyweight.
Right.
Like that's not their main goal when they're training.
More
Yeah.
pump style, right?
But I also
I
don't
so to speak.
think-
I don't
I don't know if I
want
call it pump, but maybe
Yeah, I don't
leaning
wanna-
more towards that.
I don't want to misspeak. Like Samson trains heavy,
Yeah.
he trains hard,
Yeah.
but it's not.
But yeah, it's not.
but it's
heavy.
pretty low volume, right? There's not many exercises. There's not many, right?
What
Yeah.
is for
Yeah.
what?
Samson.
I
No,
don't
it's
know.
really low volume because there's not many exercises and things. I mean, because I kind of do like loads of supersets and drop sets and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's not a lot of exercise in the workout.
Yeah, but you're doing a lot of volume for the stuff that you're doing.
Yeah.
And high rep too, isn't it, Samson?
Yeah, exactly.
I did
But
your
here's the
back
thing,
workout last week. It was high rep.
But I
Higher
do
than I'm used
think,
to.
I think if you took all the professional white guys and all the professional black guys, and you had them all follow Samson's workout, the black guys would respond better to it.
Look,
I don't think
this
that-
isn't. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to. I'm not trying to make a debate about training or not training. All I'm trying to say is I wonder if there's a correlation behind, because when I used to. Okay, so when I started getting injured, I would look at people like Dexter, and I would look at people like Phil, and I would look at people like Sean Roden, and I would think, those guys never get fucking injured.
Mhm.
Like, is it because they're focused on feeling the muscle and training hard, but they're not focused on the heaviest poundages?
And are they staying away from the compound movements and doing more isolation movements? Those guys.
So I mean, I've never seen Dexter, and forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm sure he's done it, but I've never seen Dexter do a heavy deadlift
Or bench press.
or
Yeah, I've never seen that. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But
So
then, yeah,
so I wonder, like, is this something that people should be taking note of? Like, whether you're white or black, maybe
Yeah.
if you're coming up, you're like, wait a minute, maybe this is a better way, because these like,
Yeah, because
Go
like
ahead,
I really look up to Dexter for that, because I mean you kind of look at Dexter's career and you kind of see how long he went on, and no injuries, no nothing like that. So sometimes I think it's something you look at and go, well, I want a career like that.
Yeah.
He must obviously did something like, because it works.
Yeah.
He still won Mr. Olympia, he still won almost everything, and still looked that way for a long period of time. So you kind of think like, well, as long as it's not the sort of workout you look at, you watch on on YouTube, and I think, crazy that, but at the end of the day, the result speaks for themselves when you kind of look at that. So I know I always look at Dexter and look at the way they train and say, okay, you know what? For me, if it means like, look, a long whole career doing it and it's working, you know what?
I mean, Dexter's obviously an outlier. Like, he's obviously, same thing. Sean Roden, these guys
Phil.
are all, but I'm just saying, I wonder, right? I wonder if there is some correlation there.
I wonder if it's like a slower way to get there, but a more efficient, but a safer way, but a better way, longevity wise.
Safer way,
Because Phil, like from what I read about Phil, he was always very wary of injury prevention in his career. Like, I think I read before, he never did a bench press, like a barbell bench press.
I wouldn't doubt it. A lot of guys have gotten away from, but I think in the early 2000 teens, whatever the fuck, however you want to say it, all of a sudden people were like, you know what, we're not going to flat bench anymore,
because the risk just wasn't worth it.
Most bodybuilders don't flat barbell press anymore.
Yeah, you're right. You don't even see bench presses in a lot of gyms anymore.
I mean, the most you'll see is guys do incline barbell press. I rarely see guys doing flat barbell press anymore.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's usually like third in their workout or something where they're completely warmed up and they're not going to hurt themselves.
Right.
But I wouldn't doubt it if Phil never did a flat bench press. Because that was around that time when he came in where people were like, hey, this is not the safest exercise.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, I wonder, I think about that sometimes, and I'm like, the meathead in you is like, it's hard to avoid the heavy weight because you want to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for longevity purposes, maybe there's something to it.
Right.
But then I think with the heavyweight thing, you tend to get that density a lot quicker from it.
Yeah.
Only big dense muscles tend to come from those heavyweight training and everything else. So although the other way sort of works nicely, but it doesn't give you that quick enough. It takes years before you kind of view that. But the heavy deadlift, the heavy squats, the heavy bench press, those kind of things gives you those dense, hard, gnarly muscle way quicker.
Then again, it might not be just the exercises. It might be how you do them. Because also, if you look at Kamal's, when I did my podcast with him one-on-one, one of his main things that he said was he doesn't go to failure, and he does high rep. So like he does like sets of 12 to 15, and he doesn't go to failure. Like, that's everything for him. And he does a shitload of volume, and he's 50 something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, him and Nick were training at one point together, and Nick's relatively high volume, and Nick was like, fuck, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it was quick, and it was quick.
Yeah.
It was like short rests.
But I don't know if it's the high volume that's the great part, or it's the fact that he didn't go to failure.
I think you can do that once you have the size you need as well, though.
But Ben, actually, I want to ask you this, because I saw a study recently. I can't remember whose page I saw it on, Brad Schoenfeld, or was it one of the science guys put a study up and said that guys who went to failure and guys that went close to failure put on the same amount of mass. Like, they did this study group between
it was Lane Norton,
that's who put it up. Did you see that?
No.
What do you think of that?
Well, I did see it because I told you.
You just told me. Yeah. So you saw it. So what do you think of that? Is that I mean, there's something to that. If you look at Kamal, right?
I mean, it's difficult because you have outliers that will disprove points all over the place.
Right.
I'm telling you now, like, for someone that's not a responder, you have to hit things with a bigger hammer. right?
Yeah.
You have, look, we've all been around this enough and seen the elite, and one of them's there
Yeah.
that respond much more than the average pro bodybuilder does.
Yeah.
Right? Or even a good pro bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And you'll get these outliers where you're like, holy fuck. Like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't do that. My body wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but if you took
know?
a group, but if they took I don't remember what the sample size was, but if they took 10 people and 10 people and they said, you guys both do this thing, that's a pretty good way to figure it out. Like if they put on the same amount of mass, if you told a bodybuilder, look, you can put on the same amount of mass and you can stop 2 or 3 reps short of failure, you probably prevent a lot of injuries and a lot of wear and tear.
For sure. I think the difference comes in if you go to true failure versus close to failure, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The true failure might be 0.5% better. And then the longer you do that, or the longer you are able to do it without getting injured, it's probably more effective. But those guys that are doing that normally get some bumps in the road and it slows them down. So over the longevity, you probably, if you're looking at it through a keyhole, going to absolute failure, if you're looking at the minutia and the X's and O's, is causing the most amount of damage. So if you can, as long as you can recover from that and not get injured, that's the most effective way. But the actual practicality of putting that, it's like having a car with
the reality of it. Yeah.
The car with having 15,000 or 1,500 horsepower, but actually being able to put that down on the road consistently without wrecking the engine, without keeping it in a straight line, the practicalities of it start to come into play. And I think that's more what's up for discussion there.
Oh, wait. Sorry, way off topic, but we kind of covered enough there. So question, Samson, are you buying a McLaren?
Where did that go?
Well, he's talking about horsepower. I'm like, oh yeah, Samson's got a fucking.
Oh, dude, man, that car was man, it was good. But honestly, I didn't get the best service there though.
Did you went to the McLaren dealership?
Yeah, I went to McLaren dealership. Had a look around, had a sat in a few of them. I just wanted to see if I could fit one. They all have like the spinners. Man, and I know I'm like a few weeks away from a show and probably not the right time to test it, but
no,
I thought, you know what, let me just see, probably the best chance to just see if I fit one.
Never.
And yeah, it was interesting.
We'll get a hard time getting out of it.
Never a good time. Never a good time to check when you're.
But do you know what's funny, right? Everyone's like, "Oh man, why don't you just buy a truck?" But they don't understand. UK don't have nice trucks.
No,
you
can't
drive.
Have like a F-150 or something like that, but we don't get that here.
Well, because the roads are more narrow there, right?
Yeah.
Luke wanted to get you couldn't really drive the trucks that we have.
No.
My dad's here at the minute and he can't believe how many fucking trucks everyone has and how big they are.
Well, you're also in Texas.
Yeah.
And he's like, everything's a truck, everything.
Yeah,
but like we have 5 trucks between the two houses right here.
Yeah.
But like Luke, we drove, when we did Tampa, we borrowed Aaron Singerman's Raptor. So when he went home, he was like, I'm getting a fucking Raptor, that's it.
Yeah.
And he tried to import one and he couldn't because it wouldn't fit, like it just was impossible. So what he ended up doing is he actually it's a Ranger, but it is effectively the
I remember it.
F-150. Yeah. And he put like a Raptor body kit facelift on it, but it was like, it wasn't the same. That's about as good as you can get.
Yeah, you see, and that's the thing. You don't get that nice solid truck out here. I mean, most you end up getting is like a G-Wagon, and that is just shouts out. It just sounds like drug dealer and gangster.
I'm not a fan of it.
Me and Fouad drove in one.
I test drove one last week.
Oh, what, a G-Wagon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think?
Oh, I'll tell you this.
Cool.
I'll tell you this. It was probably the baddest ass SUV, performance wise and luxury wise, I've ever driven.
Oh, really?
But size wise, I was not impressed. Like
because they're not that big. They're not that big compared to like the trucks you guys have.
It wasn't. It was like because sitting in it, like the cockpit was actually like a sports car cockpit. Yeah. Like it was pretty fucking narrow. I'm like, I don't know. I think if I'm going to get something like that, I'm going to get a sports car. If I get an SUV or a truck, I want it to be big.
Yeah, a big truck,
open. Yeah.
I mean, G-Wagon is big for the UK. G-Wagon is massive for the UK, but it's a bit too like it's just like a typical like
douchey.
you know, the black athlete thing, isn't it? It's just like the black athlete. It's a G-Wagon, put some shiny chrome rims on it, and it's like
perfect. That's what I want. I want to fucking flash.
Yeah, I'm British, man. We're sophisticated. You got to go for the more. That's the Martins, the McLarens.
Well,
Jag.
I did look at a Land Rover Defender.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if, with the V8, but
That was really nice.
But it also had the fucking narrow seats, and I'm like, it just needs something bigger. They need something bigger, so I got something bigger. But
I'm still torn between the Taken and the Panamera, the GT.
Oh right. Oh,
Panamera. Oh no, the Taycan's nicer, but it's just smaller. So for family, I would go Panamera, but for personal, I would go Taycan. So for people who don't know what we're talking about, this is a Taycan. It's an electric. I also wouldn't buy electric, but
no, not electric. No.
Not where I live. Being out in the sticks.
This is a beautiful color. Porsche makes the best fucking like flat gray. So that's beautiful, but actually it's a 4-door. You could do family.
Yeah, they're the same. The Panamera and the Taken are very similar size, and
for some reason I thought the Taycan was a 2-door, but yeah, the Panamera is nice too. That's a fucking sweet car.
Yeah, that's the our McLaren.
They're both electric.
No, the Panamera's not.
This one's gas. You always seem like a Porsche guy, Ben. More.
I grew up as a Ferrari guy, but
yeah, yes. That's a little bit out of.
But I also
out of our
had
price range.
Yeah, I had the Cayenne, and that was my favorite car I've ever driven. I had that in the UK. That was beautiful.
So Samson, you're not getting the McLaren.
I never said that.
See how this Arnold goes, right?
Yeah.
This is the car.
That's the one.
A 720S is the car that Samson.
Yes. Oh yes, it looks so much better in person. It's so much better.
No, it's beautiful in fucking pictures too.
Insane in person.
So my brother owned one of these, and he let me drive it one day. And we go on the highway, and he's like, I'm like, I want to use the paddle shift. He's like, no.
Wait,
like,
your brother let you drive his McLaren
with him in the car. With him in the car.
Oh.
So I go, I want to use the fucking paddle shift. He's like, no, just take it easy. Just go for a cruise. I'm like, but come on, man. There's no fucking cars out here. Let me use the pad. So he puts it in sport mode, and it's cool because I don't know if you saw the Samson. They showed you, but
the screen bends shuts.
Yeah.
Off.
So the dashboard, when you put it in sport mode, the dashboard flips up, and there's like your RPM gauge. So this thing pops up, and I'm like, holy fuck. So I'm stopped on the highway because no cars around, and I fucking hit the gas. I swear to God, Ben, it was like riding a motorcycle. It was like, I'm just fucking paddle shifting it like through the gears. I could not believe the fucking, and Samson, remember we drove that 488 Ferrari?
Yes. See, that's what I want to get. I want that feeling every day.
Yeah, but the McLaren was faster than the Ferrari.
Oh, you see, I want to. You know when you talk about like a car that like motorcycle that scares you to drive.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Something that genuinely, I'll look at it in the day and I'll be like, I should take that out. Maybe not today. Maybe I'm not feeling brave today. I was
I was actually talking to my dad last night about cars, and I said I think I want to get a manual Porsche. I want that.
Yes.
I want to fucking feel it.
Yes, that's awesome.
I want that.
Yes. That feeling of driving again.
Paul, what do you want?
I'm not a car guy.
You're right.
I just want a bigger truck.
You're representing all of the guys out there that don't give a shit what we're talking about.
Yeah, I just want a bigger truck.
Give me something I can smoke a joint in. That's all.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's got TVs in the back for the kids.
I know. I already know what Paul wants. Here, watch this.
Navigator.
This is Paul's car, dream car. I'm going to buy it for you one day, Paul. I promise. This is what Paul wants right here. Black on black.
Yeah.
Lincoln Navigator.
I love that.
Oh, school bus.
That looks sweet.
Pimping around.
Yeah. I will be pimping in that large.
No, these are pretty nice.
We'll be pimping it.
Pull up to the kids' school and that.
You got to put these 24s on it though.
Some spinners. Put some spinners on it.
No, these 24s are nice. They're nicely done.
Yeah, please don't put spinners on that.
See, this one's really well done. It's all black. You got everything blacked out. This one's perfect.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice.
My mother-in-law has just got the new Ford. Holy shit, those things are
mother-in-law's
nice.
got the what?
Got the what?
New Ford Explorer. It's got like, this is very dad of me, but like it's got 2 rows of back seats in it, and they're all heated and like it
Yeah.
has everything on it. It's crazy.
They're nice.
They're nice.
That's what Paul wants. That's Paul's next
Great mileage.
Yeah, that's very important to me, Ben.
step.
If I could get a hybrid navigator, I'd be really happy.
Oh,
You know what? That's not a bad idea though. Those things get like fucking 600, 700, 800 kilometers per tank. It's like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
They're pigs for sure.
But I needed to get something I could tow my bikes with though. So I have to go with like a truck or like a big SUV. I can't tow anything with like a little
Oh,
car.
your new truck's
I'm-
sweet.
Oh yeah, did you just get a new truck?
Yeah, I got a Raptor. I got a Ford Raptor.
What, another one?
Yeah.
now.
I regret it now.
Really? Why, like yesterday?
Only because the dog's not. This is how stupid I am. The dog's not comfortable. Well, you know, Samson, you got a dog that you got
Yeah,
a dog that
that's
you
why
love.
I didn't get a pickup truck because I had a dog that needs to go in the back.
Oh, but I got
That's the reason.
no, I got the back seat for the dog because I put the seats up so he could sit in the back, right? But
Yeah,
he was more comfortable in the back of the Cadillac.
He sits on the back.
That Escalade you have was beautiful.
I'm gonna get another one. I'm gonna
Wait,
get another
did you
one.
get rid of the Escalade?
After this,
Traded the Escalade for the Raptor, but I'm
Oh
only
no, you didn't.
but Samson,
my
only
God.
because I got to order another Cadillac. It's going to take 4 or 5 months to come in, so I'm going to drive the Raptor till the Cadillac comes in.
That was what I said. I said get your kicks for 4 months and then get the Cadillac again.
yeah.
Hey,
he's gonna be tired.
I think my next vehicle that I buy, I think Denise is gonna get a Tahoe for like a family, but I'm gonna get that slingshot. That's what I'm gonna
Oh,
get.
the
Really?
You're gonna get
two-
the
Yeah,
Windows
yeah,
Slingshot?
because I don't really want to get them. I do want a motorbike, but there's no point
Yeah.
because I can't
Okay.
take Phoenix out in it.
Yeah.
I can get that slingshot and I can
If
put
you
that
get-
little kid in
I'm
it.
coming to Texas.
Yeah.
Let me see those again, Fouad.
Yeah,
Samson,
that'd be fun.
you don't like my truck, Samson?
I do like it, but I prefer the Cadillac.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if I could get that in the UK, I would have bought.
Just don't do a bunch of like rapping and
No, I ain't gonna do shit. I ain't gonna do shit. Okay, let's see.
this thing. I'd say a Phoenix this summer. Phoenix and I are gonna be ripping around in this.
All right,
Wow.
I'll ride my bike down. I'll follow you guys on my motorcycle.
Yeah. Oh,
That's-
Or
that little
I'll-
boy. I'm gonna have his hair down. It's just gonna be like.
Or I'll trailer the Riker in the bike. That way, when Samson comes,
yeah.
Samson can ride the Riker, and I'll
There you
ride
go.
the bike, and we'll follow you
Yeah.
in this. Are you getting this thing for sure?
I'm almost like 90% certain that's what I'm
What
gonna
are
get
they,
for this
like-
summer. Yeah.
What are they, like 30 or 40 grand?
Yeah, they're not crazy money.
You have to have a bike license for that?
No, it's a car.
The car.
You have to work. Like, yeah, you could.
It's a real car.
Where's the price here? $35,000. That's not bad. It's
Oh,
great.
You get the
do it.
UK.
Do it. I'm
Hilarious.
gonna do it. I'm gonna do it once the weather. It's actually sleeting and snowing right now outside that window. My dad went on a walk. That's why I ran out just now. I was like, checked with Denise. I was out there. He's walking, and the fucking hail is hitting him.
What's it like having the family? Are you sick of? Are you ready for everybody to leave yet?
No, my sister. They all left and went to Mexico yesterday, and then my dad is staying for 3 more weeks. Which
Oh wow.
I probably am gonna have to just get him to do a cameo in here because he watches every single second of every podcast that's ever been on religiously.
Really?
And he will probably disown me if I don't have him just make a.
Paul,
He's
you
a
believe
fan
that?
of everyone. He's obsessed with everyone.
Ben's
obsessed
dad,
with
Ben's dad is like the old Asian man, and he's watching. He tells Ben about all the podcasts. He watches all the podcasts.
Oh, he
Really?
watches them, and then he'll call me, and he'd be like, "Oh, you said da da da." I'm like, "I fucking know what I said. I was on." It."
No, but
Wait, Dad, come here.
Oh,
Mr. Chow,
Yeah.
The original.
the original Mr. Chow.
Yeah. He's not gonna be able to hear you. Do you mind if I do? He's gonna
No,
make
of
his
course I
fucking
don't.
day.
I gotta meet him anyway. I was supposed to come down there, but
Hang on,
wasn't able to.
hang on. I know how to put this.
Samson, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna get you to Canada, or we're not gonna be able to this year now?
Yeah, you can, eh? You're
Are
going
we
to
allowed?
Pittsburgh?
Are we allowed to tell everybody the really big news?
Yeah.
yeah. What,
We are?
Which one?
Yeah.
What big news?
Hi, how are you, Mr. Chow?
You're on the podcast. There you go.
I'm not Mr. Chow.
No.
No, I'm Terry.
Hi, Terry. How are you?
Yeah, I'm
Hi,
good.
Terry.
I'm good. I'm good.
It's nice to
And
meet
you?
you. Good.
And
I
you?
heard. I heard you're a big fan of the podcast.
Oh, no, never watch it.
Never.
Um, Are you fit yet?
Am I fit? No.
He's pointing at Sam.
No.
He's pointing at Samson.
Far
Oh,
from it.
Samson.
You're about to reach privileges.
Samson, are you fit yet? Are you in shape?
Oh wait, I still got 5 weeks.
You still got
I
more weight.
want to tap you for a few, Bob, if you win.
Oh, thank you very much. I will.
Should we make a list? Should we make a list for Terry?
Oh, a prediction
Yeah,
list?
I think we should.
But is he in on the bet too?
I think we should.
Go on.
Get him on the bet, Fouad.
Terry.
Go on. Who's winning? These are all the competitors.
No, because the people I don't like, I'm going to put at the bottom.
That's fine.
I want Samson to win.
Okay,
Hey.
Samson.
You don't know all of them. You're Big Ramy, you know Sean Corrida, Bonac,
Well,
Andrew Jack, Nick.
I'm going to go Big Ramy.
Okay.
What is that?
I'm going to go Andrew Jack.
Okay. I hope Terry wins. The whole thing.
So we don't know anything.
Don't really know the others. I'll put Nick in at if he's a good boy. Yeah.
Nick, that's harsh on Nick. Nick's gonna be hard.
One more. We'll do top 5.
Yeah, Sean Corida.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. He's the little one, yeah.
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 Fucking hell.
Fucking
Well,
hell.
he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like Mighty Mouse.
Oh, fuck me.
He's like Mighty Mouse.
All right.
Bye, Cats.
Bye, Terry.
Nice meeting you.
Dude, your dad is awesome.
Should I cut the part out?
Don't cut any of it out. He's 70, by the way, he's 78.
Really?
He's allowed some freedom.
Yep.
His man.
Yep. You get a pass.
Like,
Yeah,
he can-
I think when you're
he grew
past
up in
I think when you're past 75, you're allowed to say anything.
my dad
Yeah.
has no filter, so
He's awesome.
He's a nice guy. He's just like you. Now I know where you get it. If Terry wins this thing, holy shit.
Oh man.
What do you guys think? You know what? We didn't even really discuss that. What do you think about Andrew and Chris Aceto? Do you think Andrew's going to be? I want to bring up his pictures. I thought he actually looked a little bit better already. What's going on, guys? I just want to tell you about a new product I've been involved with for a little while. It's called Bashmouth gum, and it's a caffeine gum. So as you guys know, I love my coffee. I like to drink 1 or 2 coffees a day, but usually if I start to drink them too close, it gives me a little bit of stomach ache and I kind of get to feel a little bit jittery. With Bashmouth, it's only 130 milligrams of caffeine. So it's like a steady flow of energy because it's in a gum. So I don't get a jittery feeling. I just feel like a nice, clean, long energy. And this is actually what I use to get me through the 5 or 6 hour podcast time that we did at the Olympia. So if you guys want, if you're gamers, if you want something during your workout, you don't like that EAA breath or whatever, or you're talking to a girl on the cardio machine and you don't want to stink like post-workout breath. Or if you just want if you're on a long drive and you just want some constant energy, this is the way to go. Guys, check it out, bashmouth.com for your energized gum. Do you think Aceto is the missing piece of the puzzle?
I think he's gonna be better. No shot, no knock on George, but I think he changed coaches probably because his conditioning's been a bit off. Whatever they were doing together wasn't working.
Well, there's one thing. Look at this fucking freak. There was a back shot. Yeah, see, this is what I was looking at. This kind of looks like it's already coming in a little better than the last show. There's some detail in there that might not have been there. But you know what it might be? Sometimes it's not always because one coach is better than another, like logistically. Sometimes when you start with a new coach, sometimes it's just a motivation. Like you have a new coach, you have a new system, your motivation as a bodybuilder is higher.
Yeah.
And maybe you start crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's and checking every box.
Yeah.
So I know that's happened with me. Like sometimes you work with a coach for a couple of years and maybe you're not getting the success you want. When you start with someone new, your motivation kind of shoots up because you're like, oh, maybe this guy's maybe this system will work. So you give it 110%, thinking that you have a new system that might work. So that could be something that's at play as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard he's also working with Chris Lewis, Psycho Lewis. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if the extra training, different training techniques or whatnot will help. I don't know if training was his problem. I've never really watched any of his training videos. What do you guys think?
What I've seen of his training, he does a lot of isolation movements. Doesn't like we were talking about before. Seems to be more of a volume guy.
He's not. You
Yeah.
ever seen him deadlift or squat or anything like that, or we just
Not that I've seen. Like, I'm not saying that he doesn't. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah,
He's a big guy, though. I mean, a guy that big, you have a hard time bench pressing.
I'll say this much: for the most part, if guys are deadlifting and squatting, you know about it. They show it. Like if they're deadlifting and squatting heavy, you know about it because it's
yeah. I mean, look, it doesn't mean anything. Obviously, you don't. Obviously, if he doesn't, it doesn't matter because his physique is still incredible. So, what do you think, Samson?
I think he'll come in better.
You think he's going to be better?
Yeah, I don't know. I just have a feeling about it. I just feel like he will come in better, especially being with Chris Aceto. I think Chris Aceto just has a thing for sort of improving guys in this kind of with this sort of shape, and I think he will come in better than he did in Olympia.
I'm interested to see if he changes the way he poses a couple of his shots.
Look at that fucking tricep, Jesus.
Yeah. I hope he does because I feel like he is hiding some of it. He's not displaying his physique as good as he could have done.
Yeah, I agree.
What shot would you change, Paul?
His side shots.
1 second.
I don't like his front lat spread either.
I think
he could show his
He
front
comes
lat
up high on today. Yeah.
Wait a minute. You guys are fucking nuts.
Nah, that's a good shot.
Listen, this front lat spread might be the best front lat spread in bodybuilding.
Okay, you know what? That's better than when he was doing it in Texas and in the UK Arnold.
So I'm gonna leave this shot because I think that's his best shot.
Wait. I think if he went from the hip and he just tilted slightly forward, it would have been better.
I agree.
Maybe because that's how most guys do it.
He's a little bit back here, and I think if he came forward, it would be a better.
Listen, I understand what you're saying. He's leaning too far back, but the reason it works for him is because his ab structure is so fucking dominant and his chest is so striated. It actually makes that shot look better for him, leaning back a little bit. I think it actually shows off some of the shit that other guys don't have.
True.
I wonder though if he'd show a bit more detail by just leaning forward a bit more.
What more detail are you going to see? This shit's
But
striated.
If he leans forward, I think he might just hide him away a little bit. So I think that's the best way for him to open up and really sort of get seen. Because I know sometimes, same thing with me when I pose, if I try to lean forward and hit a front lat spread, it almost feels like it makes you look a bit more narrower than when you actually.
It does, eh? Yeah. I'd like to see it at least, see what it looks like on him, just to lean forward a bit.
The side chest, fuck, you went through it too quick. The side chest, the only thing I don't like about it is he sticks the arm out.
Yep.
Like the front arm that's facing the judges, he kind of bows it outwards.
Away from his body.
Yeah, see that? He doesn't end up, like, this shot is not finished, obviously, but even when it is finished, that arm is not tucked in. So I feel like he needs to tuck that arm in and twist a bit more, but I think predominantly the side shot is hurting him because the condition in the lower body is not as good as it could be.
But doesn't it look like too, like he's not pushing his leg that's facing the judges, like he's not pushing it against the other leg to push his hamstring out more?
I think his hamstrings just could be thicker.
Okay.
Yeah, if you remember that even that shot that Patrick Moore that Fouad pulled up, and that thing was just deep stripped. In fact, if Andrew had that, fuck.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Back shots really good there. It just obviously needs conditioning in the lower body. Upper body is a little bit better conditioned, but if Chris can bring this in, then it's going to be trouble for some people. And
I don't think he's going to have a problem with food. Like Samson said, when he's super low food, he stays very full, because that's always the fear, right? You push for more condition, you lose body parts, but I don't see him losing a body part for condition.
No, I don't either. But the only thing I would say, Ben, is sometimes, and I've said this before on the podcast, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but when you lose something, it's usually the weakest link. So whatever your weakest link is going to go first.
Yeah.
So when we look at Andrew, one of his weakest links on his body is probably his hamstrings. So if they start pushing conditioning more and more and more, and this hamstring starts to disappear, there's going to be a big imbalance here. Because
what do you get? But what's a better?
No, you definitely would rather be stripped out, conditioned, and have a smaller hamstring, for sure. I'm just saying, like, I'm agreeing with you in these good body parts, like chest, shoulders, arms, are not going to go anywhere. It's going to be
that arm is crazy.
Yeah, his tricep, eh? Jeez.
Well, the reason I stopped here is because Paul said he didn't like his side shots, and I was like, I like the way he does a side tricep.
But I think it's the lower half. It's the lower part.
That's what it is for me. The lower half on that shot. Yeah. I like to just see him sitting down more on it and pushing his hamstring out.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. and then he switches it to that one is really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I prefer. I think that's one of my favorite when Samson does that too. It just is.
Yeah.
Because Samson, you do that, right? You do that kind of
Yeah.
side tricep.
But I think it's good to show both, right? Like it's good to
Yeah.
just start and then turn around. But this looks really good on him. It shows all the show me body parts. And
I think shorter bodybuilders can't. It doesn't look as good on the more compact guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's good. I think with I'm excited to see what Chris can do with him. I mean, one of the best Ramis we've ever seen was with Chris.
Mhm.
You know, I think was it 2019 Olympia or 2018 Olympia? I don't remember what year Chris coached Rami, but I thought it was the best Rami we've seen. It was a combination of fullness, conditioning, everything. And yeah.
It was 18 then.
Let's go through real quick before we go to questions. I want to see what Paul thinks of Samson's shots. Do you mind, Samson?
Nah, I don't mind.
That sounded like you mind.
I love your physique, Samson.
Because I'm a biggest critic. I end up picking out things that I don't hope no one else.
All right, let's skip it. We don't want to. If you don't want to do it, we won't do it. Okay, we'll do it when you're not here. Well, it's only fair.
Actually, don't go ahead. You can bring it up. But I get some tips as well, anyway. So
it's only fair. We do it to everybody. We just have to wait.
Yeah, get it up because I can get some tips as well.
You can put mine up afterwards if it makes you feel better, Samson.
No, that's not gonna. It's not gonna make him feel better. All right. Let's quickly go through this. You look better already, though, Samson. I like the conditioning. The conditioning is looking good at 5 or 6 weeks out, whatever this was.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Front relax is awesome. Stomach looks dry.
Yeah.
Legs, everything looks a lot drier. I'm not sure what you guys changed, but something.
Yeah.
Must be the whitefish.
I knew that was coming at some point.
Front double looks good. I want to ask you about your front lat spread.
Yeah.
So going back to what Ben and Paul were saying about Andrew, do you think this would look better if you tilted forward a bit?
Yeah, because this thing is we've both practiced that the difference between when you tilted forward and when you tilt back. Because what happens is when you tilt forward and you're standing there, it almost makes you feel like you don't open up, you don't see the lats as much.
I see.
Okay.
So it almost kind of puts you almost in like in a shadow, but it's kind of taken away overtaken by the chest and the shoulders, and you don't really get a good view of the lats. But when you kind of open up your chest, it just brings it just a little bit back, and also you can actually protrude and see the lats through that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you hide those gaps more if you were forward a bit more.
Yeah, because that's the same thing we saw.
Gap between the forearm and the lat.
Yeah. But what
That
happens is you kind of look like what it ends up looking like. You're looking like you're narrow because you're not it almost looks like you're not trying when you hit it that way.
What do you think, Paul? You're the judge.
I would just like to see it, like just what the difference is if it's slightly tilted forward, then compare the two. I'll do
it next week and I'll kind of show you. So
okay. Because one thing that's different I noticed with Samson as compared to Andrew's picture that we saw is Andrew's when he brought it up a little bit higher, I think, and made his chest look really short. Where Samson, his chest doesn't look as short on his pose. Like maybe he's not going up as high as Andrew, and I like that better.
One notice on Andrew is like from the neck out, it looks very flat across, right? Because he's up there and he's leveling off. Whereas Samson still has that some of the shoulder roundness
cap visible on the shoulder,
yeah,
right.
And that's the bit that I was arguing against.
So
Andrew.
Can I just quickly so the only issue? So I think the arms, the lats, the chest, the legs, everything looks good. My only issue with the pose is it almost looks like you're bowing the stomach out a little bit.
Yeah, because this is one thing we kind of saw as well. Because when you stretch out in that manner, you almost because you're stretching, it looks that way instead of kind of like leaning forward.
But that's the only reason, and I don't care about all the other stuff you guys said already. Not because you're wrong, just because to me it looks fine. The only reason I would say to tilt forward just a little bit is just to
bring the abs
change the perspective of your stomach.
Right. And I agree too. And I think it was just like not leaning forward much, just like
No,
a
no,
quick-
no.
Just a little slightly
Yeah.
forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give it a try the video and I'll put it up so we can see. So
Yeah,
I'll see
I would love to see it
do both of them next to each other.
because like look how
Yeah.
big and full your chest looks there. And I feel like when it goes up too high, not that you're
Yeah.
losing it, but I just think you're just not showing. I don't know.
Hamstrings are drier here too.
Oh man.
Still, the
For me,
fight is
that's-
still going on, man. Fight for the one pie I can stand.
Back double looks good to me. Back lat spread.
Yeah.
This is the one I wanted to ask you about, Samson. I feel like
Yeah.
you're sitting down too much. See how you're see okay. Oh shit.
Yeah.
God, Jesus.
Okay. So see how your knuckles are turned in there?
Yeah.
Did you get that from John?
We picked that up basically
Yeah.
afterwards this year.
Yeah. So John used to do that, which
Yeah.
when you do that, and for people watching this, see how his knuckles are
Yeah.
curled in here. When you do that, it allows you to open this up more, a little bit more
Yep.
scapula,
Right.
and allows a
Yep.
little bit more width here
Because we used to do it the normal way before you use your thumb
with
and turn it in.
with your thumbs. Yeah.
No,
But
you're
you never
internally
open up
rotating. You're
the back.
internally rotating more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
opens
this-
that lat way wider.
So this makes more sense for the width, but the only thing I would say, Samson, is because you're 6 feet tall or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like you're sitting down too much, and it
So you
needs
want
to,
to stand up more upright?
because it almost looks like, are you pushing the center of your back a little bit?
Yeah, because when you kind of you almost sort of
Yeah.
arch-
Okay.
arch
So
to push
so
that.
so that's what I'm saying. So watch. All I'm saying is, and this is so stupid. I hope to God you're not taking any offense to this.
No.
It's just fun playing this game, but all I would say is straighten the spine out instead of bowing it outwards.
Yeah. So
And-
be
and-
more upright.
Yeah, not more upright. No.
Oh.
So you're still gonna lean back,
Yeah.
but instead of pushing the center of your spine outwards, keep
Yeah.
keep it straight. Because you'll create more of like a wider look this
Wider
way.
flat back
Because
instead of-
Because if you push the center of your back out, you're actually rounding the back,
okay.
which
So
is
don't round it off.
just taking away the edges, and it's probably taking away a little detail in the middle.
Mhm.
So
Okay, yeah, get-
so
get
I
you,
would I would straighten my spine, right, and not
Yeah.
push my back, not
To
push
open
the
it.
middle of the back out, right,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
and then just stand a little taller, and I think the whole look will just look bigger. But it'd be cool,
I'll give that. I will give both of them a try. The back last spread and the front last spread, and actually film it and actually see the difference.
I think it's cool that fans get to watch this, because I don't remember another time in history where they could sit with like an Olympia, a top
Fuck,
Olympian,
Arnold.
or top Arnold guy, and be
Arnold,
like, hey,
yeah.
let's try this stuff out with your posing.
It's definitely not doing this next
This is
time.
how you learn, though. But this is how you learn, though, and it gives. That's the thing. It gives fans an idea, because I get a lot of people make comments and they want to say, "Oh, why don't you hit it this way?" And they don't understand that obviously the dynamics of we've practiced that
Yeah, I
reason.
know.
There's always
Yeah,
a
I know.
reason
No.
why
Yes.
we switch it. Like same thing like with the back last spread. We never hit it with this like the knuckles in before.
That's right. That's
Only
right.
this year we switched that up, and only because we realized every time we're doing with the thumb and try to just do it the no conventional way, my back just seems like I never open up my back enough.
Yeah,
You just
really,
could never open up the scapula, but then doing that way
Yeah.
changes that look.
When I
Yeah.
roll my knuckles in on my lat spread,
Yeah,
it almost like unlocks my shoulder.
exactly.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. John taught me that, and
Mhm.
your back does look a lot thicker and wider when you can do that, as
When-
long as you have the traps to support it. Because
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I've seen guys do it before that don't have thick enough traps, and it kind of takes away from the top
Away
of their
from it.
back. It makes it almost look straight. So you have to have the right kind of muscle development to do it. But
That's the
Anyway.
original way lat spreads used to be done.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
with the knuckles,
Yeah, like
in,
back in the
Yeah, I didn't know that.
'70s and that's how everyone did the lat spreads. It was later that it
Wow.
changed to the thumbs up
Oh, I didn't know that.
for whatever reason. I don't know.
Interesting.
Mr.
actually.
Mr. Lauzon, the historian.
Back in my day,
What do we got here?
Yeah,
Most
when I
most
started
muscular?
bodybuilding.
Abs and thighs thing.
Oh, ab and thigh. That fucking waist, fuck Samson.
It's crazy that physique, man.
I love the dryness is what I've noticed is different this time.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely pushed it a lot different already this
Like
time.
this is crazy for six. This was 6 weeks out when you posted this too.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the we
Hey.
talked about it before. If we had like
Sorry.
no, like we talked about it before, like if you're gonna like the ideal physique. Like shape has to be a part of it. And like, no, I don't see anybody else out there that has that kind of shape with that size and conditioning and
Andrew's the closest thing to the shape.
Yeah.
At
yeah,
that size.
I think Andrew, I think he just has a couple more body parts he's got to bring up a bit still. Where Samson, I don't see has that. Big
It's
of a
the silhouette.
as
Like
much
Samson's silhouette is just crazy.
It's
Because I
ideal.
think where we're still like, obviously, like we said, we're still fine tuning and refining everything. And now we're sort of discovering, okay, that's why I've always open to the idea of, talking to you guys and getting feedback. I mean, that's what we had earlier this year when obviously you got tips from Fouad and everyone on, okay, how to sort of train the back and everything else to try to refine it as much as you can to make the improvement actually happen and not be so close-minded to it. It's like, I don't need to learn anything. I'm already there. But it's trying to refine the tiny little details. I mean, and definitely after like coming off the Olympia stage and looking back at it, and I know there were certain things that I just was not happy with because I know my abs control in the Olympia stage, I wasn't happy with it.
So
I knew I could do better.
Is that the main thing? Like if you had to pick anything, was that the main thing you were not happy with?
One thing that I wasn't happy with. And it was just kind of weird because for some reason, compared to how separate my quads normally are, they just weren't like that on stage on Olympia. And throughout the whole time, even from the morning of the show, we looked at it and we were like, whoa. And then we came on stage, we were like, what happened?
Do you think any part was nerves with the breathing, with the adrenaline dump? Because I was backstage with you. And
oh, yeah. You saw
you
it,
look
right?
like a rat. Like,
yeah.
You look not terrified. You stressed. You look stressed.
Yeah, highly stressed. I mean, this one is not even getting away from that. I was extremely stressed, extremely the idea of thinking, holy crap. And when you're almost one of the second to the last guy, you get to see everybody go before you.
Yeah.
What was that build up of, oh crap, before you actually get your chance to go, And I think, you got to have that experience so you can learn from it. And now sort of like looking back at it and you kind of think, okay, right, we've gone through that. Okay, how do we make it? Now we know what's expected and what is in that situation.
That's what I mean. I don't think you'll ever be as tense or stressed backstage again.
No,
compared to that point.
That was
I saw it because Denise was putting like a top coat on you. I think I even came over and I was like, hey, fucking like take a breath, breathe and relax. Because I was like, fuck, man, he's gonna have a heart attack stood over there. It was like,
you seem more confident since the Olympia.
Yeah, because now it's almost like you finally got that confirmation, haven't you?
Right. No. Yeah. On the biggest stage.
Haven't you? So now you sort of know where you can sort of get better.
This is hilarious.
but I do think like that nerves, adrenaline, cortisol, anything like that. Yeah. I think that can affect your breathing rate, right? Your heart rate's going up, your breathing. And that I think that could have affected your midsection control that you're seeing. And then, like you said, with maybe the leg, the detail and the sharpness, I think that might have been a part of it to play, as well as it being so late in the day. Like,
yeah, true. It was
so late.
Like we really want to work on, especially going in this show, sort of like, okay, now you've done the Arnold before, so you know what it's expected, you know what it's like. Okay, now you've done the Olympia as well in a higher stress situation. Coming back to the Arnold after that, now it's like, okay, you feel a lot more relaxed and a lot more confident in it.
Right.
Again.
Do you look like a little kid, Samson?
Until you try to get out.
Yeah, I love when you try to get out. You pour out of it, basically.
Try to get out.
You like fall out of it.
Because that's the only way you can get out of it. Because I spoke to the guy at dealership, and he's like, I was like, oh, how'd you get into these things? And he goes, you don't get it, you fall into it.
That looks smooth.
Yeah, you look smooth. Athletic.
That's fucking awesome. That's so great, man. I think one of the coolest things is people get to go on this ride with you.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like people who've been, I know you got a lot of new followers now after Olympia, but I think a lot of people that were following you before are like really proud to see you go from, not making it to the Olympia when you were in Korea to like doing the Arnold to get it, and now, just test driving fucking supercars. Yeah. Like this is all like part of the progression, right? So it's pretty fucking. It's pretty fucking sweet.
Journey of it's just playing out in front of you, right?
I love it, man. I love it. You guys want to do some questions before we go?
Yeah.
Paul, do you got to go early or no?
No, actually, Tony's home now, so she can get the kids.
Okay. What was your worst injury, and how has each member on the cast dealt with these injuries? Ben, motorcycle accident?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You want to? Is there one other than that happened in the gym?
I tore my hamstring doing lunges 10 weeks out.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah,
did
I
you
think
deal with it?
rough. I didn't train legs for 2 weeks and carried on everything else.
Yeah.
Like got treatment, did my cardio as walking rather than didn't stretch that hamstring. I mean, it was black and I've got the picture still. It's black and blue all the way down to the back of my knee.
Yeah, yeah.
I know. Annoyingly, it was the like 5th rep on the second set of a 20 rep set. You know, it's never the failure rep or the whatever.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
always
yeah.
halfway
Yeah.
through. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, just got on with it. You know,
Paul,
but I was quite lucky with that one.
Paul, your pec.
My pec tear, yeah.
How did you deal with it? You ain't got surgery.
No, I think I couldn't get surgery on it because it didn't pop and it didn't tear from the attachment. It tore in the
That's right.
it tore in the belly.
How did you deal? How did you deal with it? I can't remember.
I couldn't train anything upper body wise for I just did one arm workouts. I trained my left side for quite a while.
I don't
For a
remember that.
few
I think you're making that up.
Whatever.
I don't remember you doing.
You were there
one-arm
when I tore
workouts.
it.
I don't remember.
I
you
couldn't
doing
train with you
one-arm
for a while. I couldn't train anything else.
Yeah,
for
but
a
I don't
while.
remember you
I couldn't
showing
use
up
that
at
arm.
all. You're trying to tell a story now, like you're doing.
I would do
one-arm
legs
workouts.
and one arm workouts.
No,
Even after my
you
shoulder
did not.
surgery, I did one arm workouts. I did. After my shoulder surgery, I did one arm workouts. You were in
Yeah,
Toronto.
but not after your chest tear.
Yeah, I did.
I don't remember that. I remember you doing. I remember you doing legs. I remember you doing like
Legs.
quads one day, hamstrings one day, calves
Yeah.
one day, so you could get in more often.
Yeah, but I would also do like one arm chest, one arm back, one arm tries, buys.
I don't know if I buy that, but we'll move on. Samson, you ever tear anything? You ever knock on wood? No,
Knock on
hopefully.
wood. I
hopefully we
haven't
don't.
had any injuries yet. No,
No,
well,
you're
I
pretty-
say I haven't had any injuries.
Good.
I mean, the only ones I had was obviously the micro ones that we had looked at last year.
Oh, that's
You know,
right.
Yeah, those.
Well,
I mean, those ones.
What did Dr. Khan did some PRP? What was it again? Was it
on
your
my shoulder?
shoulder? That
Micro
was it.
tears. I think it was 6 of them.
That's right. That's right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
6
Maybe.
micro tears?
Yeah.
Oh well.
I think it's pretty. I think everybody has little tears in places.
Yeah.
But when Dr. Khan's ultrasound tech goes through your body, they can find shit anywhere.
Yeah.
Like they found tears that I didn't think I had, but they're like, look, if he's usually like, look, it's a small tear in the belly of the muscle. It's probably going to be okay. Like they don't treat every single little tear they find,
Yeah.
right? So anyway, I think the more I've had a bunch of tears, but the moral of it is all of us kept going. Right. Because I think some people get an injury. I get these messages all the time, like, oh, I got an injury, I don't know what to do. I'm so depressed. And I'm like, just keep doing what you can do. Yeah. If the other guys on the podcast had a supplement company, what would they name it? Paul, that's it.
Yeah.
Paul supplements.
Paul. I told you I want to get shirts made. Who did say Paul?
I'm gonna make sure it's the same. But this is the thing. You think they're gonna sell out, and we made a shirt with your face on it, and we sold like 6.
I don't believe that.
I
I want to see those actual sales.
We had to give them away.
Actually, I was there once. I had to laugh myself. Me and Fouad were at this thing. And they put together like a little care package to give someone for like a charity thing. And so I was they're kind of taking pictures of it. Like there were some film crews there and that. And I was watching and the person opens up their gift bag and there was an Uncle June shirt. I was like, you fucking gave him that for free. I was like, why? Because you couldn't sell it?
No one's buying them. Everybody watches. If you love Paul, buy Uncle
my
June
shirt.
Yeah, because
It mean a lot to me.
his sales are shit in the bed.
Your brother wears his all the time.
Yeah, he just does that to annoy me.
Whatever. He loves me. I got a picture of him wearing it. I'm gonna put it on my clothing website
Listen,
when I
you
have one.
motherfuckers need to support Paul more, man. We made shirts. You guys can buy.
Please.
No, please. Will Brochat have an in-person podcast studio soon? Hopefully one day. That's the plan one day. Are there any other words that Paul pronounces incorrectly? We went over them last time already. I don't remember. There's others, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, you always make note of it whenever I do.
I know.
So.
I don't have a list right now. Fuck, marry, kill, squat, bench, deadlift.
Pardon?
Fuck, marry, kill, squat, bench, deadlift, Ben.
kill bench,
Okay.
marry
Your
squat. Fuck that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Samson.
Kill Ben. Actually no. Kill deadlift, marry bench press. Which one's the last one? Deadlift.
Fuck the
Which was
squat.
last one?
Fuck the
Oh,
squat.
fuck the squat. Yeah.
Paul.
I hate all three of those movements now.
when you
but
when you weren't
when I
an
was
old
younger.
man, when you weren't an old man, yeah.
I used to love the bench. I hated deadlifts, so I fucked the deadlift. But so was it Mary?
Squat.
What was the other one?
Squat. Fuck,
Yeah,
Mary,
squat
kill.
was okay. Mary kill what?
Fuck, Mary, kill, squat, bench, and deadlift.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, I like bench and squat. I don't like deadlift.
I'm gonna marry the bench, fuck the squat, kill the deadlift. Do you agree with what Ronnie said about Arnold being the greatest? Considering if he had our technology, he would be far superior. You guys talk
What's
about
our
whether
techno-
I gotta let
what's
the
our
dog out.
techno-
What?
What'd you
What's
say?
our technology? What's the difference in technology?
Well, they're saying like people probably didn't know as much nutrition wise back in the day, which I think is true. Like in the 70s, obviously we've learned a lot more about nutrition since then.
Okay, but technology.
What was-
Okay.
Yeah,
what was the
that's what-
question?
Was Arnold the best ever if
Oh.
he had all of the knowledge, today's knowledge?
No, Ronnie was the best ever.
Well, Ronnie said Arnold was the best ever.
Oh,
As we said, is Ronnie right in that Arnold
Oh.
was the best ever?
well, how
I
do you
don't
know?
think so. Well, that's what the whole point of the question is. It's a hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
How do you know? Paul's answer as well. How do you know? Like that's the point of talking about-
It's a
That's the
fucking
discussion.
it's a conversation.
Yeah,
Paul.
sorry. Okay.
Tell my wife.
I'm gonna say Ronnie's the king. I don't give a shit.
Yes.
I
What
agree.
anybody says.
I agree.
Yeah.
What gives
That's what I mean. It's not like there was a new drug that was invented or discovered that all of a sudden changed the game.
Yeah.
I just think
Okay.
Ronnie's physique, like if we're talking about okay, if we took competitiveness, work ethic, all of that shit all combined, you would say like Arnold, Ronnie, Dorian, like their competitive nature, their all of that is all the same, right? What separates them is their genetics. Ronnie's genetics, like, man, what the fuck? Nobody looks like that. Nobody has that.
Hang on. Wait. Do you think Arnold's work ethic was as I'm gonna piss off some people, aren't I?
I think I know what you're gonna say. His
Like
work
he's
ethic.
on the beach partying, and then Ronnie is out working the beat of the.
I don't think
Yeah.
you get
in a
to,
police suit.
but I think Arnold's competitiveness was such that if bodybuilding was as competitive then as it is now, he probably wouldn't have been on the beach fucking around.
I agree. I think he would have worked harder, yeah, if he had to.
I just think that competitive nature is what it is. Like it's very high in certain people, but I think Ronnie's genetics, like, and when people are gonna be like genetics, what are you like? When I say that, I mean the way the muscle inserts, the volume of the muscle, the fucking just the shape of his physique. Like you can't replicate that. Like you're talking about quads the size of Tom Platt's, a back the size of fucking Dorian's. Like if you put together the perfect body, the only piece you would change on him is like his fucking triceps. If you put Rolly Winkler or Phil Heath's triceps on Ronnie Coleman, and you put Dorian Yates' calves on him, you pretty much have the best physique of all time, like without a doubt. Nobody could compare.
Yeah.
So it's like when you have that many of the best body parts ever, you can't. I don't think anybody could say he's not the king.
And look what he looked like natural too. He turned pros and natural.
The other thing too is when people say like Ronnie's not the greatest, they're usually looking at a 2003 or later version of him. If you look at it, when he was already kind of changed, right? But when you look at the peak Ronnie Coleman, which is probably 98, 99, 2001 Arnold, there's never been a better physique under bodybuilding criteria.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So
I agree.
yeah, I don't know. I think anybody that is an avid bodybuilding fan kind of thinks that. I'm pretty sure.
I think he's known as the GOAT in most circles.
The only time I've ever heard of a comparison is Phil Heath, like 2011, right? Which I think is a valid debate, but I just think if they actually stood on stage next to together, Ronnie.
I was about to ask that. Phil was a close second.
Yeah.
He's just too big at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like if you were having this conversation, like, you know, Ronnie's saying Arnold would have been the best ever. I don't think that. I think it goes, all things equal, I think it goes Ronnie, Phil. And then I don't know who you'd put after that, but I think it's Ronnie then Phil. They're the best physiques we've ever seen on stage.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
What gives your life purpose? Self-achievement or serving others? We're getting to the deep stuff.
Yeah.
Samson, you go
Easy
first. You've been
stuff.
quiet. What gives your life purpose?
I think self-achievement, though, you know, and you help others along the way and all that. But I think in terms of full purpose and what really sort of drives you, the idea to achieve something, I mean, probably athlete's mentality, the idea of achieving your best self, you know, in whatever thing you choose to do, the idea of really seeing where you can get to and how far you can push and how far you can sort of go with it. I think that is a drive that is just second to none.
I think they're combined though, aren't they? Because if you are achieving the best for yourself, you're usually sharing it with anybody who's around.
And this is what I mean. Like, you always help out. You end up helping others along the way anyway.
It's not like you're going to become Mr. Olympia, 10-time Mr. Olympia, and you're going to leave Mel behind.
I'll be like, "No, you don't count, man."
I think if you're a normal, like a pretty well-adjusted person, the more successful you get, the more you bring
everybody around you.
The more you bring everybody around you with you.
You inspire too.
It's like me paying for Paul's lawn care.
Yeah, which I thought he was doing snow removal this year. He hasn't been here yet. We had a pretty good snowfall the other day.
I gotta talk to him. Like, can you shovel Paul's Paul's driveway too? No, but yeah, they kind of go together. I mean, does anybody really live just for other people?
My mom.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, think of my parents, right? Holy shit, that's true.
I was about to say mine. I've had a shift.
Well, yeah, you have a son.
My mentality. Like, as soon as you asked that question, before you went on,
I know you did.
It went ding, and I'm like, I can't.
That's the same. That's kind of the same with you, Paul. You live.
It changes. It definitely changes when you have
live. You live your life for your kids.
Well, I mean, it's important to me to have things, you know, that are important to me still, of course. But yeah, at the end of the day, you have to think of them before you make any decision.
But that's what the root of the question is. Your main thought when you wake up in the morning is, how can I make their life better?
Yeah, and making sure they're good before you think about yourself.
So I think Ben's saying the same thing about his son. So I think me and Samson are just selfish. We're like, we wake up and we're like, how can I get more?
Well, hey. But you can use it exactly the same way.
What do you mean, Ben? Explain that.
I gotta use the bathroom.
In fact, you can probably use it in a more powerful way.
Explain
it's not just for me anymore, right? It's for him. And when it's for him, I will fucking
so you're saying
I will bleed them. I'll run myself over for him.
Yeah, but you're saying so you're kind of saying what I was saying before is like you're working extra hard to make yourself better, but it's for him.
Yeah, like I'm silly. I'm like, you can go walk up to a dead. If I just put it into meathead terms, I go up to a deadlift and I just start putting things on the line, right? Whereas beforehand it was like, okay, I want to prove something to myself. Now I'm like, oh, imagine if he's gonna see this. I want to make him proud. I want him to. That is far more powerful than just doing it for myself.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll give a better analogy. Like, let's say you wanted to have 100 clients and like top 5 Olympia clients 3 years ago. That would have been for your own personal ego and your own personal success. Now, if you have that, you're probably doing it so that you can give your son everything he wants in life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I said this to Paul, actually. We were driving home from the gym. I said, we were talking about how like stupid I am with buying cars and stuff. And I said, I bet you if I had kids, I wouldn't give a shit about all that small stuff.
So not to go off on a side. My sister was here, and again, I haven't seen her in 3.5 years, right? So in that time, we've both had a kid.
Yeah.
And we just have a different understanding of each other now. because we'd argue, and
like a
before I just got
different.
here, I was
You
like,
mean like a different respect for each other?
yeah, exactly that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we both get it now. Like we both. I look at her with her kid, and I'm like, we argued. We were very close, and we would clash. There's 2 year difference, and she's the older sister. We would fucking bat. And
Yeah.
I'm, you know how stubborn I am. She puts me to shame, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't any of that because it didn't matter anymore. There's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
There's a different thing going on, you know.
I was just saying, Paul, when you went to the bathroom, that I remember we were talking on the way home from the gym today about how I probably wouldn't give a shit about buying all these stupid things like cars and whatever if I had a son or daughter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wonder sometimes, and I don't know, maybe people that are watching, if you have kids, you can comment. Do you still care? Like, if you have kids, do you still care about those little frivolous things that don't fucking really matter? Like whether you drive a truck or whether you drive an SUV or whether you drive a sports car, like, do you still give a fuck? Or is that just a single guy's thing or a guy's thing that doesn't have kids?
Well, I just think you got like it's got to fit your life. You know, like a pickup truck wouldn't work with kids well for me. You know, like it's better.
No, but I
SUV.
don't mean specifically the pickup. Like, but I think of my brother, for example, right? Like he's successful and he's got 2 kids. They're very well taken care of. They fucking have whatever they want, but he also has a boat and he has got a sports car and he's very successful and he still has all those things. So I just think
I think you can have those, but they just move lower down the pecking order.
they're not priority anymore.
So you can still, like you said, he's taking care of his kids first, and then he can take care of himself after.
Yeah, of course.
And they still exist. Like I want to get a motorbike, right? But I'm like, let me get a slingshot first.
Yeah,
if I then got a shit ton of money where I can justify getting a motorbike as well, then I'll get it. But it's
I get
the
it.
pecking order. Yeah.
So it's not about being selfish or not selfish. It's just about your priority in life because you have more to worry about.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is too, though, Fouad? I think like, okay, like, you know, you only got so many extra hours like, aside from work, right? Yeah. So if you don't have kids, you can use that time for yourself, which is great. When you got kids, you know, you got to spend time with your kids. So you'll do things that include them. So instead of getting a motorcycle, like Ben said, you get a slingshot so you can have your son sitting next to you on while you're doing these things, you know?
So is that what we have to do? You have to get a slingshot so you can go riding with me?
I thought after Ben mentioned that, I thought about that.
Yeah, but then your daughters are going to get jealous because then fucking
over which one gets to go.
Yeah, you need to get it.
No, that's easy. Just take the favorite one.
Problem solved.
We'll find a slingshot with 3 seats.
Do they have that? They probably don't though.
I'm sure they got some. Dude, I'm sure they got like a 4-wheeler or something with fucking.
And then the wife's gonna feel left out. So.
All right. So he's back to where he is. Was an SUV.
Get a car.
Was a car. Yeah.
Just buy a convertible and I'll ride my motorcycle behind you.
Good enough. Close enough.
What were we talking? We were talking about something else today in the car. I thought was interesting too. We were talking about financial freedom.
Oh, what does financial freedom mean to you?
Yeah, we'll do another deep one before we go.
Okay.
Samson, if I said to you, what does financial freedom mean to you? What does that encompass?
For me, that's the idea of, I feel that now because it feels like you then focus on a goal that isn't financial. You can then, the idea of stressing about bills and what to pay and all those stuff. And, I can't do this because I can't afford it. I can't do that. That is out of the way now. You tend to like be in a position where you can focus on other things and not stress out so much, and you can get to enjoy life outside of finances.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say, Samson. So I know how you feel because I had some pretty good contracts in bodybuilding, and I felt that financial freedom. I'm like, fuck, man, all I gotta do is lift weights. This is incredible. The reason I didn't feel financial freedom though is because I knew there was going to be an end to it.
An end point to it,
right? Yeah. So I was like, I'm 30 years old. I'm making $100,000 a year. I'm like, fuck, I'm financially free. All I do is lift weights. This is great. But I knew always in the back of my head, there's going to come a time like whether I was 40 or 35 or whatever, I was going to have to retire, and I'm going to have to go back to work.
Yeah. So
financial freedom to me is more like, it's more long-term, right? Yeah. So for you, but in the moment, you what you're saying, financial freedom is just not worrying about bills.
There's no worrying about bills, and then it sort of because now it's almost like you now focus on your golden drive that's not tied to being financially, the goal.
So you're saying like if you're working because you enjoy it, not because you're trying to make money.
There you go. You're not trying to make money from it. You're actually enjoying life.
That's the point we were talking. You know what, Paul? That's a really good way to put it because we were kind of saying that without saying it.
Yeah.
Because remember we were
choosing to
Yeah.
work, not
Yeah,
working. 'cause you
no,
have to.
working.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Well, the example I gave Paul when we were talking is I remember talking to Lee Labrada when we were there, when I was down in Houston. And I asked Lee one day because he came into the office and I said, "You still come to the office?" I'm like, because the Labrada Nutrition Company is massive and it's very successful and he's been around for 30 years. I'm like, "You still come to the office?" He's like, "I love coming to the office." He's like, "I come in." He's like, "I do some work." He's like, "I work out." He's like, "I have lunch. I do some more work, and then I go home." And I'm like, "That sounds like a lot of fun, right?" Like he's
That's a nice
still
day.
like, but that makes sense. What Samson said is he's working because he wants to,
Wants to work,
Yeah.
not because you have
not
to.
because he has to.
Yeah,
So that's financial freedom.
that's
It's like
financial
Yeah.
freedom.
you're there because you want
because
to
you
be.
want to do it, not because you
Yeah.
have to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
See, I always thought of financial freedom in a different way, but probably a more materialistic way, which was
Yacht.
big surprise, eh, Ben?
Buy what you want.
Financial freedom to me means I can buy whatever I want, whenever I want, and I can take time off work whenever I want without it hurting my income. So like right now I have to work every day. There's always a phone call, a meeting, a something to take care of. So financial freedom to me means if I want to take a week off, I can just go and take a week off because I have enough money to support that.
I don't think you'll ever get. You will never get there because your palate for these finer things in life will just always
keep growing.
Like you can afford more, so you're gonna want more. You're gonna afford more, you can want more.
No, that's not true.
You're gonna buy a yacht and then you're gonna go out there and you're gonna get out on the water and someone's gonna have a bigger yacht and you're gonna be like,
I want that one.
Yeah.
We need to go back to work.
That's not
Fuck
true.
that guy.
That's not true. No, my desires in life are not driven by ego. They're not. Like if I had okay, so I'll give you an example. If I bought a Ferrari and I pulled up to next somebody with like a more expensive Ferrari, I wouldn't be like, fuck this Ferrari, I gotta go get that one. I would still just be happy with my Ferrari. Like there's certain things I want and I don't care. There's always going to be somebody richer. You can't be the richest person.
You can never
I mean, you can be the richest, but like,
Yeah.
that's my goal in life is not to be the richest person. There's always going to be somebody with more money. There's always going to be somebody with more shit. And when I say I want to be able to buy whatever I want, it's just within reason, like within obviously realistic, like, but it's not even about buying things. It's more just about like being able to say to my wife, you know what, let's just take a week off and go somewhere.
Yeah.
Like that's a long ways away from me. But a lot of people don't have that luxury. Like people work 9-to-5 jobs.
That's not on. Yeah, that's not on any. That's on for a lot of people. That's not even on their horizon. That's not even on their. That's not even a lifetime possibility.
But that's what I mean, though. But that's what I see as financial freedom is like. Financial freedom to me means I can take time away and it's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know if that's to me, that's what freedom means. You just do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit of both.
I would still always have a business or some sort of work to keep me interested in like it's a bit of fun,
But let's say this, Ben, let's say like, or I'll take Paul, for example. Paul wants to open a gym. Let's say you open a gym and it's super successful and whatever. Even though you love being there, are you really free if you're not able to just get away?
Well,
like if you have to be there every day for it to run, are you really free?
Well, like this, the way I would ideally see that happening is I'd have to be there for the first couple of years till it gets established. Once it gets established, you got your members, your loyal members, you got, things running, you got a staff that you can trust and is dependable. Then I would feel like I had that freedom at that point.
That's the point I'm asking you. So your freedom comes kind of the same way I'm saying is when you can leave and the business will take care of itself.
Yeah, because I'm financially free enough. Yeah, that I can hire someone to do the work for me. Like I don't have to be there all the time.
Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
I was going to say the same thing for you, right? Once you have staff in place that can hold it down for a period of time, you're going to oversee it and check on in things here and there. But
which is probably what Lee does.
Yeah, and that's I think what starting any business is going to go down that same path where you're like you get it rolling, you get it moving, and if it's successful, you can eventually step away. But that's
and you want to be taking in so much money so that you have that financial freedom that comes with it.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, we'll do one
Oh,
more.
well, okay, so what does that number look like though?
For me, I wouldn't have a number. I would want to have no mortgage though for sure.
Yeah.
And I'd want to have like, a steady flow of income that's, covers
Oh,
my
there's
bills.
a
without any
number.
kind of stress.
Don't play that. Don't play that game.
Okay. If I had to throw a number out there, probably close to $1 million.
$1 million a
good.
year.
Oh, a year.
What do you
I
say?
was gonna say my number's way higher than that, and I'm not.
What are you
like
saying?
that.
Well, I mean, if you could just give me $1 million right now, I think I'd be okay.
Dude, $1 million's
Mine's
not
like-
going to buy you financial freedom.
No.
You're going to spend
It'll-
300. You're going to
Well,
spend
so I would still
300,000.
work. No. I'm not saying I would stop working, but I wouldn't have like bills to worry about, stuff like that anymore.
I still don't think that's financial freedom.
I was thinking like 20.
I don't.
Yeah.
20 is like
20 million? Oh God, I would hope that would be enough.
I just think, I don't know, man. Maybe I have lofty goals, but I feel like financial freedom means you just do whatever the fuck you want. Financial freedom is fuck you money. That's what I think of when I think of financial freedom.
That's a big. I think that's a bit much though.
Why?
Because that's beyond financial. It's not really financial freedom. That's just freedom in
No,
general.
no. Because
financial freedom. Financial freedom to me means I can have some fun and invest in some startup businesses here and there, and not be like, if this doesn't work out, we're fucked.
There you
right?
go. That's
See,
that's,
yeah.
that's
but
all
no.
they need to do.
There's levels to this. It's like
Oh,
there's I'm poor. There's I'm getting by. There's I live check to check. There's I'm comfortable.
yeah.
There's I'm rich. Then there's I'm wealthy. Then there's fuck you money.
No.
It's like- and fuck you money means fuck you. You can't. I do whatever I want.
You're talking like, you need like.
But I'd say
like
20.
many
I'd say
millions.
20 million is like, fuck off. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could.
I'd be good. I mean, look, if you can pay your house off, and pay your and your business is thriving, then what do you really? And you've paid for your cars and everything. You have no debts.
Yeah, you don't have anything else.
Yeah.
Then what do you?
that is financial freedom, though.
That's
right
financial.
there.
Yeah, I think
Freedom.
I
You
see
don't
that.
need anything more. Basically, you don't need to work to survive. You can just life just goes on without you having to actively do something to make an income. It just
Yeah, you can take a 5-year holiday and be scolding.
Yeah, I think it's less than 20 million to get that though.
For sure.
Well, depends on your
Like,
taste.
so you have to
that's
go,
probably-
what kind of mansion? What kind of mansion and what kind of car?
It
No,
depends on your-
because here's the thing. Because you have to have the fuck you money plus a little buffer in case you got excited,
In case things.
right? You have to, in case you went, fuck it, let's take a punt on black and put 5 mil down just for fun. You have to have a little.
So what about those guys or people that like they just kind of like travelers, they don't have any sort of bills, they don't have any sort of lane, they just kind of like live in the woods and just don't have that.
I mean,
modern
they have
lifestyle.
listen,
That's
Grid.
but that's why the fuck you money or the fuck you lifestyle is dependent on the person. Because you could be one of these people that's completely self-sufficient in the woods that has like built their own. I watched one on YouTube the other day. The guy built his own fucking house. He had rainwater collected into like a filter that gave him the water for his house. He had what's it called? Solar panels that collected all the electricity for his home. And he lived off the grid. He's like, I live off the grid. This is everything I provide for myself. I hunt, I get my own food. All my electricity and water comes in from naturally. That guy has a fuck you life. He's like, I don't need anybody.
But he's living on somebody's property. He's got to pay taxes too.
You probably bought land.
But you're right? Because if I was to not want to move, like our mortgage is going to be paid off inside of a year.
Yeah.
So
the fuck you lifestyle.
If I didn't want to
depends.
move, if I didn't want to move and get close to the city, have a bigger house and like do all this stuff, then we're comfortable. Like, and then
if you don't need money, or you don't want for anything, then you basically have a fuck you lifestyle.
Yeah, you're free.
But that's why I said I think your level. I said that's why.
I want shit. I want shit.
Everyone has a slightly different number because Fouad's number is. I have a high number, but your number's way higher.
No, it's not.
Sure.
Look, I would be happy. I'd be happy. Listen, I'd be happy with a home here. I would like a home somewhere warm.
It's like, there you go. So his number's bigger.
He wants a
already.
home in every
already
country.
I would also like a home, like
A car at each one.
like a nice cottage somewhere.
That's three. That's
Three.
three.
That's three.
Okay. So your number is 3 times more than mine already.
You don't want a cottage?
No. Why do I want
Why?
to, for what?
Or like a beach house or something?
I'd want an Airbnb or an investment property. Our numbers are different.
That's
Fouad, I
work.
promise
But that's work. Why the fuck? See, fuck you money.
No,
is-
that's security.
No. Fuck you money means I own the house on the beach. I live there for 2 months out of the year, and it just sits there. That's how much money I have.
You don't,
I
you
don't
don't
give
need
a fuck. I don't have to
You don't-
fucking Airbnb.
You don't need to rent it out.
So our definition of fuck you money is different. I have a slightly lower number than you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that's work. So you have the beach house, then you have to rent it out. That's work.
No, I
is
don't
not-
have to rent it out. I'm renting it out because it's smart, and I want.
Oh, okay. Wait, but that's
smart
different.
things.
But no. But that's different. If you're saying you don't have to rent it out, we're saying the same thing. I'm not saying I won't Airbnb it. I'm saying I don't want to have to.
Yeah.
Why would you?
But
Though,
I
if you don't
only
have
need.
to.
But I only need one house for me. You want 3 houses.
You
For
want
you.
3
No,
houses.
I want no. How can you Airbnb it if you don't live there? You're saying you want 2 houses. You have
Yeah,
a
you
house.
said 3, so automatically you want your one more. House
I only
than
have
me.
one more than you. I only have one more than you.
Yeah, but your one. Yeah, but your other 2 are bigger than mine already. I guarantee.
Listen, I have to have a house here because Paul's my friend and he's like family, so I can't
The
leave
house
Windsor.
you have
I'll move
now,
somewhere with you, Fred. We'll go
okay,
somewhere
right
more.
now. Okay, right now, how many houses do you have?
One.
Okay, we both have one. Your one is 3 times the size of mine.
You have way more land than I do. Fuck off. You live on like 5 acres of land.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but I live on a fucking little patch of nothing.
Okay, our property value, yours
It's
is
the same.
worth a lot more
Same.
than mine. No,
Same.
no, it's not. No, it's not. I know how much yours is. It's not the same.
Okay, listen, this is the point. Everybody wants something different. Samson, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Would you like to have a home where you guys make me look so bad, but you guys are full of shit. Samson, would you want a home where you and Mel, remember that home in Vegas that you guys went to?
Yeah.
Okay, so that house, right? You want that
Yeah.
house. But then wouldn't you also want a home like a cottage in the woods or like a beach somewhere?
See?
What for?
Not everyone.
I got big. You just got that house, and then you'd be like, "Nah, actually, I'm bored today. I want to go to my other house." That's
But
the-
it's-
that's-
You've seen
The
how
only
he is
thing
with
is-
cars.
Yeah.
It's the
yeah,
same
exactly.
thing.
You can stay one car long enough.
The only
Paul,
way I'd want 2
Paul-
houses.
Paul, wait a minute. You agree with me.
Well, because we live in Canada, we live in a cold weather area. Well, so does Samson. Like it gets
Yeah, and
cold.
I live in
too, right?
I live in England. It rains.
you wouldn't-
every
You wouldn't
year.
want a home that you could go stay in the wintertime though. That's in a warm area.
Why?
That's the one thing I. That's the
where
one
you
thing
go
I
on
do. I
holiday
would-
for.
Probably the
You go
wants
to a
is different. I
hotel, get
But I
something
wanna-
like that,
Yeah.
and then you go home.
But I want to stay there for the whole winter. I hate winter. Older I get, I hate it.
So Paul wants 2
So-
houses too. See?
Yeah,
I
but
want a
you
winter
can.
home.
You can because you can rent the place for 3 months.
That's
And
not
then
the
leave it.
point. That's not the point.
Yeah.
The
I
point
found my
is
own home though.
Paul wants 2 homes. So we're just as greedy as each other.
You said 3. You said 3.
You want three.
But
I
that's
was okay
all-
with 2.
That's
I was
only
okay with
because
It's
of
okay with 2, but now you want 3 homes.
See,
All 3 different climates.
I want one. I want one. Actually, we looked at a place in Colorado that's beautiful. That
I just
would want to
listen.
purchase. So hang on. I want a place in Colorado, and then I'd like one back in England, right? But
That's
that makes
2.
right. Yes, and then I'm done. You said
Yep,
3.
yep.
Your number's already higher. I don't need the cottage. I just need one and
Yeah, I
one.
don't need the car.
I'm
No
good with
cottage.
2. I'm good with 2. I'll take the one. I'll take the one in Windsor,
And one
and
in
then,
Texas.
and then I want a beach house somewhere.
And
Yeah, that'd be
Texas.
ideal.
No, it doesn't
That's
have to be. No, because you're going to move to Vegas.
Colorado.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I looked. We found a. We looked.
I
At our
need
place
somewhere-
yesterday. Beautiful.
I need to move somewhere warm so I can ride my bike all year. Colorado doesn't do it. That's why I thought Vegas or California. I don't want to live in California because it's too liberal. So I'm like, I could do Vegas. It's warm all year round. Or Arizona.
Yeah, Florida's too hot.
Florida's too humid.
It's too humid. Yeah.
Arizona's brutal.
Is
So
it?
So are we saying I'm the most greedy person?
You got
Or I
more
just-
That was
I
a
just-
given.
You got,
That was
you
a
got the
I just-
deepest taste. You got the deepest taste.
Yeah, you got the most expensive
Ben,
taste.
Ben, it's a given.
That's like asking is the most tanned on here. Yes. Samson's the dark. Like what? What are we talking about here? There's some things that don't need to like bringing up.
Don't you guys see things and just want them? How come I'm the only one who sees things and wants them? What the fuck?
Like
Samson,
some things.
you guys are full of shit. This guy's test driving McLarens. He's like, I don't want anything.
Yeah.
I never said no. The thing is, I will probably get that and be satisfied with that for a long, long time.
I would be satisfied. Are you kidding me?
You will get that. No, you get that for 1 month.
No.
The next month you still.
Wait. Time out.
Oh, dude. Okay, look. Quick question: how many cars have you owned in the last 2 years?
That's not the question.
It's a pretty good question.
All right. Better question: how many bikes have you owned in the last 2 years?
3.
Same
Fine.
thing.
No. I'll tell you why. My goal, like I guess we'll put cars in this category for success. One of my pieces of the puzzle for success is owning a Ferrari.
Yeah.
It's always been since I was like 12. I was like, one day I want to own a Ferrari. Once I get a Ferrari, that's it. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm trading it for fucking something else. Like that. Then I'll be satisfied. That's my, because everybody, I think has like a limit. Everybody has like
but then you get a better Ferrari and a new one comes out. And then there'll be another Ferrari. Actually, I saw the other Ferrari.
A lot of Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Yeah, wait. Wasn't there a car that you wasn't there a car you nearly bought because they only made 500 of them and that was
no,
it was too far away. The reason you didn't go is because you couldn't have anyone drive 30 hours.
Oh, that was just a truck. It was just a truck.
Oh, that's when we were supposed to go to Saskatchewan to pick it up.
It was the Shelby. It was the Shelby truck.
Yeah. You wanted me to go to Saskatchewan with you to pick that up.
I got to cut this whole part out. You guys.
And then he, because you said no, he asked me to fly up to Canada and drive for 30 fucking hours with him. So it's our fault. It's our fault that he doesn't have that truck.
Yeah, I hate to put you out, Ben, but you might fly in here and drive me to Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it would have been a fun trip. It wasn't putting him out. It's a guy's trip. Well.
That's why we love you, Fouad. You got
I don't feel it's not just I have you know what, and this is honest to God what I think because I never had kids, this is the way of my life.
I don't blame you.
It's something I can put my mind into.
Yeah.
Because I never had kids. Because because I'll tell you this, I know one thing for sure. If I had kids, I would be just like our parents were.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't give a fuck what I was driving, or as long as they had everything.
Right.
Yeah.
If I'd have been sat here 4 years ago, I'd be on beating the same drum as you.
I know you are. I know you would.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, boys. Well, I've taken a beating. I'm gonna go get my $100,000 truck and drive around. Forget about everything you guys said.
It's a beautiful truck.
Smoke a 20-pack while he's ripping down the highway.
All right. I love you, boys. I'll talk to you
too.
soon. Okay.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.